my people at? Where my people at? Where my people at? Still can't hear me? Where my people at? Where my people at? Where my people at? Fam, what is up with the squad? It's Cess, your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. I'm in the building with the Baseline Brunch ladies. Good morning, ladies. What's happening? We got Brittany, we got High Life, we got Kamish back in the building again. What's going on, ladies?
Good morning.
Morning.
I think High Life might be on mute, but we'll work that out. We're gonna work that out. Good morning. Hey, listen, I'm still on the Gamecocks high. So I'm really happy that this is the first show that I'm doing after the live last night. Cause I've been dying to hear like what you ladies thought about the game. So we totally we totally talked some. Me and the commission totally talked some. Brittany, I have no idea what you think. So let's get into it. Tell me, did you get a chance to see the exhibition game at all? What were your thoughts? Let me know. Let's go, ladies. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing good. I didn't get to watch all of the exhibition yesterday, but I did get to see some clips and some highlights. And then, though I hate box score watching, I did get to look at the final box score. And I did watch the post-game conference. But it sounded like it went well.
Oh, it was beyond well. It was beyond well. You're being too modest, Brittany.
But
it's okay. You're being too modest, Brittany, because I'm gonna be ruder. I told you I'm gonna be ruder. Oh, I'm out of control. I'm out of control. They've been asking me about a Gamecock. It's up. Kamish, your thoughts? What did you see? What do you think? Let's get into it.
So you mentioned you're still on a Gamecock high. I'm still stuck on this Aces high. So to go from Aces to Gamecocks, I'm in euphoria. Like, so good. I think a couple things that really stood out to me. So this is more like word vomit, but like pace. Like when I really think about and shout out to the young lady who live stream from her phone.
Gamecocks versus everybody.
Yeah, shout out to her. It gave me.
Matter of fact, I'm so glad you said that. Can we give her? Look, you know what? We got to give her some. Look, hold on. That's for you. Gamecocks versus everybody. Hey, and GD Sports, Girl Dad Sports, man. I don't know. Hey, the last 6 minutes of the game, we appreciate that. Go ahead, Gamecocks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and maybe that's a broader thing. It's just like, one of the most amazing things about the Gamecock community is the fams and just how they ride for the team, the girls, Dawn, and just kind of everything Gamecocks related, which actually brings me to the point of like, hey, whoever's in charge of making decisions about things getting broadcasted or not, let's think again. Women's sports is at an all-time high. Women's basketball is being consumed in a way that I don't think the supply is meeting the demand. You just think about even the preseason game with the Sky versus the Lynx, and one person was live streaming, right? Like, can we fix this? Thank you. Secondly, it was just cool. I think I was watching the live and I was like, oh, the back of that person's head looks familiar. And it took me to like quarter 2 or halftime to realize, oh, that's Ryan. That's Alicia Gray. And Pow Pow. And shout out to Pow Pow, yes, hair. And
Okay,
Pow
like Pow Pow came back a grown-up Gamecock. Okay.
She did. She said, I'm an Atlanta dreamer.
What did Malik say? She had her kitten heels on? She had her kitten heels on?
She did have her kitten. No, that's exactly what it was. He was correct.
Yeah, she had her kitten heels on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then of course we'll get to Asia later, but Asia's clearly in the building for Hall of Fame.
Okay, so
induction.
You said that you've been on a high since the Aces. So are you basically in your house going like Aces game?
Yeah.
Aces game. Cox. Yeah, I hear you.
Hit it with the little Wicker remix, like so.
That's the Wicker remix.
Yeah.
But you hear me? And I mean, listen. You know what's so exciting is, and High Life was joined us. So we'll get back. We'll get to High Life too. Is that the level of talent that we saw on the floor just for the exhibition says that there are so many more Gamecocks headed to the WNBA. Like, I don't think that there, and and y'all correct me in the chat, y'all correct me in the panel if I'm wrong. I don't think there was a school that had more players on playoff rosters than the Gamecocks. Did we have the most? We had the
players? Most, and then either Notre Dame was next or UConn, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but we did have the most.
Yeah. I mean, we motion out here. That's why we got the most games on TV. High Life. What's going on, fam? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm back. Good morning.
Good morning, fam. Yeah, come on in. So we were just talking about we were looking at the Aces exhibition. I want to say what's up to the folks in the chat. Bree Wayne in the chat. Ghost Asm in the chat. Good morning, Erica Higgins. Welcome in. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Yolanda Wells. Good morning, Mocha Latte. Miracle Writer for you. What's good? So we talking South Carolina.
Wait. I messed you up. Because you said the Aces exhibition. See?
Yeah, because you got me. Aces Gamecocks. We were talking Gamecock exhibition. So just your initial reaction, how much of it you were able to see or not see. High Life, your thoughts. Hey, Bookie.
Wow. And here's what's funny. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was, with the whole LSU game, all the LSU fans was, I'm like, it's the first game, it doesn't even count. So I gotta remind myself that, if I'm being honest, when I was watching that game, because I'm like, first of all, our big Agot, did I say her name right? Her last name right?
Coat. It's like a coat. Yeah.
Thank you. Coat. Listen, no disrespect. She looks a lot better than the clips that I did see of her at where was she at? Texas A&M or
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. I know she was like that. Did she face up and take the big off the dribble to the basket? Did I see that?
Well, let's start with her getting a rebound and going down the court like she was Asia Wilson.
Yes, that too. But I didn't know she had that face up to the basket. I'm excited.
We love a big that can grab and go.
Yes, we do.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. You know what I mean? Because we all finna go. Don't get to anybody. Go. Red team, go. Red team, go. Don't look back for the ball. It's coming to y'all. Go. But I want to go back. Gamecocks, if I can. I'm sorry, Commissioner. I want to go back to the Gamecocks. To the Gamecocks exhibition decision about what you were saying, Commissioner, about the games being televised or not. Do you think and does Dawn have a say in whether or not they televise the exhibitions? And my thinking is along this line. At some point, it's about the greater good of the game, right? And I think at some point, Dawn doesn't like to just beat a team to an unaliving. So do you think that she's like, hey, no, let's not put the exhibitions on TV?
It's very possible.
Don't have that.
It's very possible. I think there's.
And then are we spoiled and just want to see every minute of everything the Gamecocks do?
So we are spoiled and we want to see every minute of everything the Gamecocks do. And that's partially a monster of their own creation. You know, like our content team is better than, and I'm not even being hyperbolic when I say this, our content team is better than at least 30 to 40% of the W. Like they just
probably
fundamentally
75% of the
yeah,
W.
I was being nice. I didn't want to excoriate them like that, but yeah, I was being nice. But yeah. So it's kind of a monster of their own making, if you will. So we are spoiled. We also are one of the preeminent programs, and so we want to see it. I do think there's probably some, Don very much has respect for the game, respect for opponents. You've seen that before. There's many times we could have kept, pedal to the gas or pedal to the floor and blown teams out more. And usually she'll call the dogs off. So like that's true to who Don is. She doesn't want to embarrass other teams. And especially we see how hard it is for her to get people to play us in the off season. Like people won't play us. So she also has to play a little bit of that game as well too, is like, we're not out here to embarrass you. So all those are very possible. And the reality of the situation too is I believe in the sanctity of practice at times. And I think that's the question of where does exhibition live in your strategy, right? Is it practice where you want people to make mistakes? But if you broadcast people making mistakes, that invites a little bit more
good point.
Criticism, right? Then the value of practicing needs to be a place that's safe to fail. And she's talked about that too, where she wants, even Latson, she wants practice to be where she thinks the hardest, so that when games start, she can be a little more instinctual. She can play freely. So I think that's fair. It may be Dawn who made that call. I question a little bit because we did produce Memphis last year, but that was at Memphis. So maybe that was a Memphis decision, but it's possible. I can save space for
Memphis was a
decision.
And I think Memphis was like a doubleheader with the men's team. So like the men played first, and we played after. So I think it was more maybe about the men being there. But I'm glad that you talked about the criticism, ladies. Is it okay? Can we just talk about? Do you guys mind if we just go through each of the players and kind of just talk about what we saw versus what people said we're going to start? And I want to start with Raven. So I want to start with Raven. Can we do that? Is that cool?
Yes, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning. Welcome in, fam. Hey, we got 60 in the chat. Hit the like and the share. They both right there for the ladies this morning. Baseline Brunch. We appreciate y'all pulling up. Get y'all comments in the chat. So Raven, and I want to start with Raven because Raven catches the most strays of any Gamecock. Like I think even like next
they're not strays.
When
they direct shots.
No,
direct shots. But I
think
that's true. They got Raven in the crosshairs, but it's to the point where I feel like even when Raven gets to the W next year, and I said even when Raven gets to the W,
because she will,
saying that she's not going, they're still gonna be like, but Raven can't shoot, and I'm gonna be like, bro, Raven's not even here. Like y'all are. Raven is so rent free in their heads. I was so proud of what I saw. You all talk about Raven's performance and what you felt about it last night.
Look, Raven, Big Bird, Johnson. I need people to keep that disrespect and that hateration. Keep that over there. Keep that in your group chat, whatever you want to do. But this season, I don't want to see none of that on social media, because the other part about it is the disrespect that Raven gets is because people don't actually like point guards. They like scoring guards that are disguised as point guards. But they don't really admire how the point guard position is played until their team needs one.
Let me add to that. I think Brittany, they don't appreciate because they don't know what they're watching. Right. We have to talk about the literacy of basketball, right? Because that's the problem. You were joking or tongue in cheek earlier about you don't like box score watching, but you had to last night because there was no official broadcast. which is super fair, but like people actually do that when the broadcast is available for them to watch. So
Worst
they're
part.
only counting, the only countable stats are, that's interesting. So the only countable stats that are available in your average box score, right? Because you do have advanced analytics that you could choose to go and look at, but no one does, or few people do. The collective masses look at what's the order? Points, rebounds, assists, or something, or maybe assists is before rebounds, but nevertheless, it goes in that order. And points usually give you 3-point, free throw. Like it's all like you have to scroll to like get to some of this other stuff. And the thing that's
Not they
interesting,
not scrolling.
they don't even scroll. They don't even scroll.
Not even.
They're not even scrolling. But like you just listen to how people talk about the game, and it's like you're not serious. You're really not serious, because we can't even have an honest discussion. So many times last year, when Raven wasn't shooting well, and she was still kind of finding her footing. You could tell so much, because there were so many times, so many of us were like, yo, we're getting a little clunky. The ball movement's not happening. The ball isn't getting into the right person at the right time. That is the role of a good point guard. I know we talk aces, we move it on, but like, let's go back to the aces season. Part of the reason why the aces were struggling so much earlier in the season is because Chelsea Gray was struggling. It wasn't she was shooting too much. She was being more of a shooting guard than a facilitator and getting the ball into people. When you fast forward to the end of the season, even though, yes, Chelsea Gray is so unique because she can score, she's so clutch. But actually what makes the Aces great is when Chelsea doesn't have to score more than 10, 15 points, but she's double digits in her assists. And you saw even the game, what was that game? Game 2. Chelsea was setting that table so well. Asia was just rolling to the basket and just doing layups. Like that's how Asia got her 30 points, right? And so I think people don't know what they're watching, 1. 2, get confused by numbers and analytics and don't really realize, like, no, within the role of this team, what does the point guard need to play? The point guard needs to set the table. The point guard needs to know. And actually, I encourage a lot of people, the free advertising, I guess, to go watch the Sue Bird podcast with Chelsea Gray and like watch it and like listen and internalize the conversation. Sue Bird and Chelsea Gray, you could argue the two best point guards. I think Chelsea Gray is the best point guard in the W's history. To really understand, like Chelsea talks about, she had to learn where Jewel wanted the ball, and Jewel had to learn where Chelsea wanted her to run to on fast break outlets. Like those are things that you cannot count in a box score. Yes, turnovers are kind of implicit in that, but also assists are too. And also, like, we don't count hockey assists, but there's a lot of hockey assists that the point guards set up for their team. So yes, I really encourage people. Yeah, and I hate that because I actually think that's like one of the assists that's really, really key. It really tells you about ball movement and how stagnant the office is or not, and just setting the table up for people to get easy shots in their pocket, rolling to the rim, pocket passes, those types of things. And we should also count assists while I'm on my soapbox. When someone, FIBA does this, but when you go to the free throw line, that should count as an assist too, and that doesn't count. And there's a lot of hidden assists lost through that. So anyway, say all that to say, as it applies to Raven, I think all those things apply as well.
Can I throw a number? Can I throw a 3 on that 1-2 you put up there?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit him with the uppercut.
Here's the 3. Because I'm gonna be ruder about it. 3 is they just don't they cut the game on to see Raven fail. And if they would just take those glasses off, like take those Raven can't shoot glasses that you got from the favorite content creators channel and watch basketball. Cause you guys say Raven can't shoot, and then you go, what about in the championship game? Yes, we lost in the championship game. Yes, Caitlin Clark gave us 41 points, but we didn't lose that game because Raven couldn't shoot. Raven was 50% from 3 that game. Like take those glasses off. Get that narrative out of your mind and just watch basketball. Because the other part of that is Raven does exactly what's asked of her. And the way that you can tell that she does exactly what's asked of her is because when she doesn't, or when someone else on the floor isn't doing what they're supposed to do, Dawn is cussing Raven out every game. Because that's her responsibility, to set the table, to know where everybody is, and then to score when she needs to. But I just wanted to throw that out there, man. Take y'all Raven hate glasses off, man. It's sunny out here, bro. It's sunny out here. There's good basketball going on out here, baby. Take them hate glasses off,
missing
bro.
it.
Y'all tripping, bro.
And also, while we're on it, because time has passed, that, you know, when we said this, people didn't believe us. But we lost that game because Aaliyah bleep Boston, who, by the way, just got second team all WNBA, was out of that game. Aaliyah in her third season, are we on fourth? Third season, right?
She headed into 4 now, right? Because
she's headed into 4. But in her third season, made all W second team as a third player at some of the strongest positions. The 4-5 position is the strongest position, is full with superstars. So now use your brain, go back in time, and if you don't have Aaliyah Boston, who we saw what she just did with Kelsey Mitchell against the Aces, right? Against Aaliyah, or against Asia, against Liz, right? That same Aaliyah Boston, who was a 2-time National Player of the Year in college for the University of South Carolina, was out of the game. So now use your brain and think about what that game could have looked like had the refs not been playing games with fouls. Okay, great. Thank you.
Can I borrow this from Erica Higgins? Erica Higgins just dropped a bar in the chat, y'all. Erica Higgins said, "Generals don't carry guns; they tell the soldiers what to do." Raven, a 5-star.
Hey,
period.
I need to use that, Erica Higgins.
Yeah,
please give us permission to use that going forward here on Cess Talk Sports. That's a 5-star general. Generals don't carry guns. Let's go. I love it. Please let us know if we can use that. Anything else about Raven? Before we get to the next player? Anything?
One last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I think when we talk about Raven and we talk about how people don't understand basketball, it just always reminds me that not only do many people not understand basketball, and we be telling them to use their brain, but they can't read, y'all. They can't read.
No, there is a literacy crisis. There's a literacy crisis in America. So I have to remember that when people start arguing and I see the stupidity that I see. Yeah, I just opt out because I can't argue with stupid. Like, we're not even arguing.
Absolutely.
And it's one thing if you want to tell me, if you want to have an honest assessment of these players, where their skill set is, where they can improve, we can do that. But as you were saying, take the hate out of your heart. And if you just here to hate and bring up everything besides what's on the basketball court when we're evaluating these players and what they can do better, like, I'm not engaging in that.
Exactly.
I just want to say something real quick. Was the original question, what do we see out of Raven in that game? Was that the original question, Cess?
I think.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I was asking, was the original question out of that game, what do we see of Raven, or what do we get out of Raven? Something of that nature.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back through and just talk about all 10 players. And just
correct. I was just gonna be on my cocky shit real quick. I was just gonna be on my cocky shit because I'm a Gamecock.
Hey, put it back in the chat. Cock up. We hard. Let's
Thank
go.
you. So I really didn't see Raven because I was in and out, but I didn't need to see her to know what she was gonna do. Honestly, again, I believe that if Vegas gets Raven, she will be the next Chelsea. I agree with Brittany said about there's a difference between actually being a point guard and a scoring guard. I believe the correlation to what Kamish was saying about, Raven and Chelsea. My thing is, you're not going to get that flash that you get from Chelsea from Raven, but you still going to get the pass without the flash. But again, the whole seeing, like you said, that game that Chelsea broke the game down and did that, Raven does the same fucking thing. They just don't see it. Why? Like we all say, oh, she don't score. Okay, she don't. But again, the difference between a scoring guard and a point guard. That's all I wanted to say.
Let me ask this: How many games has Raven lost because Raven didn't score? First of all, I don't think Raven's lost 15 games since 2017. So there's that. But how many games was it because Raven didn't score? Like that's never the reason. Raven's
I was
always
about
going
to
to do
say
the right
South
thing.
Carolina,
You know what I'm
none that I
saying?
know of.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and then I want to. You said about the flash. I think that we may see a little bit more flash with Raven because we got. Let's talk about this next one. Tania Latson on the floor and what that does for confidence, chemistry, and just, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like when you got that old thing back. You know what I'm saying? It's just like me and you. We back in that same old groove. That's what they look like. This duo right here. They're listen, they're out here running circles around other backcourts. What do y'all think about Latson and then Latson and Raven together?
Can I make a sorry? I want to make a final point
sure.
about Raven.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Raven, I will say one thing I do want her to continue, and I'm sure this is exactly what she has on her list for this season, is all about continuing to find those hidden points in a basketball game. And specifically whether that's continuing to her IQ being high and setting the table, or even for her, I think finding where her sweet spot is, like where's she gonna butter her bread in the W. And the reason why that's really important is because teams will sag off of her, right? And then they'll crowd the paint a little bit more. And it's interesting because you hear Jackie Young talk about this when she first got to the Aces. Purposely, they wouldn't guard her at the three-point line, which is that shot she had to develop over time. And this is coming from Jackie Young, who was a scoring champion for the state of Indiana before she went to Notre Dame and dropped 30. You know what I mean? So, like,
right.
I say that because there are people who are a little bit more scoring oriented, and even in the W, they still had to make some adjustments. So I think it will just help for her confidence. Her defense is there, but I think if I really think about for the season, Raven, I don't ever need Raven scoring 20. And quite frankly, if Raven scores 20, I have questions. We better be at like 150
So,
or 200.
Oh, okay.
But
you know that you just quoted Don, right?
I mean, I be listening to Don a lot, so I'm
No, I don't know.
surprised.
I don't even know if you know, but like they specifically said like this year for Raven, it's not even about the three ball. It's concentrating on Raven getting to her spot, that mid range, that jumper, and being comfortable, and then knowing when to attack and stop and pull up. That's exactly what they said. The focus is it's not the three ball, but she's developing that. So I just thought that was right on time.
Yeah, but my point is there's space for her to develop more of a shot in the W. She's gonna not have to go to class. She's going to have more time available to her. She's going to be able to spend money and have more dedicated resources to developing that. Jason Kidd was known as ASIN when he first got to the NBA because he had no J. Like that's a thing. So we have to allow these people time to develop some of these skill sets when it comes to shooting, because that can always be developed. What is hard to develop is IQ and defensive intensity. So to me, I think, again, when we talk about Raven, those are the things we need to like really focus in on. And again, it's not going to be as clear as looking at a box score, but as you watch the game, see where Raven is, like where she's trying to get to when it comes to, hey, we've had a lull, I need to get us a shot. That's what I'm going to be watching on. Okay, now Latson.
Oh, wow. I mean, Latson. What'd she say? She having it her way? She out there having it her way, man. Listen, Latson is gonna score and get a bucket whenever she wants. It's scary hours when she's on the floor. Like I said, her and Raven are probably as locked in as a backcourt as a backcourt can be, besides being twins like the Paul does.
I agree.
You hear me? Like they know each other in a way that no other backcourt is going to be, except the Paul Does, is going to be able to work from. So just that plus the sheer want to, the locked in that I saw from Latson, like Latson is ready to be a Gamecock and ready to like score, do whatever she has to do, play in the system. But she does it all. I was impressed. Like I said, I'm excited to see Latson this season because she did a lot of scoring last season. And my thing has always been just, is she big enough to where they will respect her at the W? And I think her showing her ability to play in the system is gonna, man, it takes her WNBA draft stock to the next level. What do you
I actually think your last point, I actually think Kelsey Mitchell having the year that she had, Dana Evans having the year that she had is actually going to raise Latson's stock if GMs keep that in mind. Not saying that any of them are the exact comp of her, but I think if you think of like a short, thick, not in a disparaging way, but thicker guard from a stature standpoint, like that actually I think is super helpful. And you can see how, Dana and Kelsey were able to impact the game in different ways, right? Kelsey Mitchell, certified bucket. I mean, she was a scoring champion, right, as well too in the or all-time leading scorer for a brief point of time, but she's a bucket. She was just playing for Indiana, and the spotlight wasn't on her. But you can see how she is a problem. Latson, I think, too, can get there. I think this year, as compared to last year, she's still going to score. What I really liked about her is there are a couple times we saw her get the rebound, or there was a quick outlet to her, and she just went straight to the rim, and she converts on her layups, which is great too. You can't be missing bunnies. I think. Say that again.
I said right. Finish at the rim.
Finishing at the rim. That's the easiest place to get points besides the free throw line, and I'd argue it's easier. So I think Latson is actually really good. We're having this conversation right after Raven, because I think, again, it's more nuanced in looking at her game, seeing where she picks spots, seeing how she sets the table up for others as well too, I think is something she's concentrating on. Or how does she use her penetration to create opportunities for others, which is like the Kelsey Mitchell that I see. For Latson, I think showing flashes of that will be kind of what carries her to the next level as well. And then, of course, improving her defense and whatnot. So I think those are a couple places that I'm watching Latson this year.
Can I
run those likes up?
Can I give another PSA to the box score watchers?
Oh, let's go.
Public service announcement for you box score watchers and those who don't know what they're watching. We don't want to hear she went to South Carolina and look, she was a leading scorer last year. Now she ain't scoring as much. Hey, go on. She did all that scoring at Florida State. We know she can score. We know that. So don't be over here saying, she ain't averaging 30 or she ain't averaging 25. Okay. She might not average 25, 30, whatever, but I guarantee the overall play of what she's going to bring to South Carolina is going to be more valuable than her just scoring 25 points a night. I promise.
I'm looking at her efficiency, right?
That too.
That's what I'm looking at this year to really, she may take, what did she take last night? I forget the box score. Did she take six shots? It wasn't that many because I think
6 or 7.
I think Agot had the most with like 11. I think.
She took like 17. I think she took like 17 shots.
Okay. Yeah, if you had the box score, but nonetheless, it was. Sorry, who took 17?
Medina, right? Didn't you say?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you were answering the Latson. I want to know how many Latson took. I think she took 6 shots.
I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna grab that right now.
Whatever it was, I want to say it was like 4 for 6, which again, I would want a little more in a real game, but like
no, Latson was 4 of 10, so she actually could have got 10. Her 20. She could have got her 20. Wow. She went 4 of 10.
Okay.
4 of 10.
Medina went 8 of 17. So like we had 3 players that potentially, if they make their shots, Don has 3 players in over 20. Right?
Yeah, which is great. Yes. So to your point, a couple things. She could have gotten 20. She can average 20. Latson can. Great, whatever. I'm more interested in what is your percentage, your field goal, your effective field. We don't really do it as much, but like essentially what's your effective field goal percentage? Because that could include free throws as well. That to me is more important for Latson because it shows she can run within the system of an offense. It's not a high volume shooter, #Enrique. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. That wasn't even meant to be a stray towards Enrique, but it kind of was. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't really mean it. I'm just giving examples, right? I want Latson to be efficient, and whether that's layups, getting to baseline shots, middies, whatever. Yeah, her 3-point can be improved, but honestly, like it's more effective for our team to be dangerous. They know there's always a Latson, right? Like people know that she can go off, and the threat of her being on the court is going to make it easier for other people to get shots too. So
Absolutely.
when she does take shots, I need her to convert. Yeah, that's how I feel about Latson. Like I think there will be games we give her the ball and say, take us to the promised land. We need a shot here. Go like create, break down, or get to your sweet spot. And having someone who can do that is always advantageous. But I don't need her to do that every game, and I actually would prefer her not to. So that's how I feel about Latson.
I'm just excited to see her and Raven play together. I honestly do as well believe that the chemistry that her and Raven have can't get any better. What Cess says than the two twins. Like they could be twins themselves. Like I'm excited to see that Marseille. I'm also excited to see her play in a system we know she can score. The noise is going to come if she's not averaging 25 points, but that is once again those who don't know basketball. With that, I'm going to say that. And yeah, the defense is going to come. I want to see how that look too. But once again, excited. She's going to be excited, and yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, one more ad with Latson. I think the other thing when I say like play in a system, right? You also, because where's she projected to go? Not that I take it with a grain of salt, but is it Toronto was the last mock draft? Like she's like 5 or 6, right? I think.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
So that potentially puts her on an expansion team. We'll see whenever CBA lottery, blah, blah, blah. But like, if you're 5 or 6, seeing how kind of things shook out, like the reality is you're going to go in the W with other capable players. So Latson's whole goal is to show she can play alongside other either prolific scorers or a big or wings or point guard, right? And that's exactly what she's going to be able to do at South Carolina. So that actually projects really well for the next level because she's not the sole scorer. She can show that she's already shown she can be the sole scorer, but ideally you're going to have other shooters. You're going to have people you need to play alongside. So I think that's also the key within the offense of South Carolina for her for the next level.
Absolutely. I love all of that. But you know what else I love? Like you said, like the threat of her being on the floor. But somebody disrespected Latson the other day. I don't remember who it was, and I probably wouldn't say their name if I did anyway. But they caught her slow-footed on defense. So I know we didn't get to see a lot of the game, but did you see Latson on defense? And just if anybody has just an opinion on what they saw on defense and the slow-footedness that they wanted us to be so worried about with Latson. And I don't know how you get slow-footed on defense if you're really, really quick on offense already. But go ahead. I was just wondering from you, ladies. Let me know.
People be seeing buzzwords and just regurgitating it, not knowing what
literally.
Because all I kept hearing is we look fast. I'm hearing we are probably faster than we were last year. Like that would mean she had something to do with it. But again, who said this? Just roll the ball out, man. What we talking
That's
about?
Where we at? Roll the ball out. So we talk Raven. We talk Tanaya. Let's talk
Actually,
Tessa. Let's talk. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking about it, and I don't know who said it, and I'm not one to give people the benefit of the doubt in these internet streets. But let's pretend
in these internet streets.
Streets.
Let's go.
Let's assume that they are not. Let's assume they weren't being nefarious about it. But there is a world where I don't agree with this, but I could see that assessment. And the only reason why that would make sense is because Latson had to give so much offensively for Florida State to go. Like true engine of Florida State. She had to carry such a heavy load on the offensive side that she probably, and players do this, and it's, I mean, it makes sense too. Like, it's hard to play defense too. It's actually hard to be a two-way player. So it's possible she was conserving herself on the defensive side because of how much energy she had to expend on the offensive side. But that's the best I will give without knowing the full context.
But I thought I said that.
I still wouldn't call it slow foot though.
I wouldn't call it slow foot.
Taking
again.
I can understand you're taking it like they
you pick and choose your spots. I mean, that's what they do, right?
That player who needs not be named, right? Like she didn't have to do anything on defense because she was saving herself for all of the high usage that she had to do for that team on offense. Like, and that's totally acceptable. She's a star for that. And then Latson slow footed, make it make sense. We're not doing that. So
it's actually. It was actually
ahead.
Interesting. So again, I know we joke about the MNBA, but one thing I did like about the Prime broadcast, I was like watching some of their breakdown. They actually did a really good breakdown of how you have to hide, quote unquote, hide like the Steph Currys of the world, the Jalen Brunsons of the world, like how the NBA really tries to target pick and rolls with the lesser defenders. Partially, they do that to try to expend energy of your prolific scorers on the other side, which makes total sense, and to their undersized. So they were actually, UD was breaking down how they would try to counteract that. Again, I encourage people to actually watch breakdowns of film because that's actually how you learn. And then Steve Nash, again, another person who was very susceptible to this during his time, was also breaking down how they were doing it and how they would hunt him. And so I say that because it actually ties into the conversation we're having about Latson. So in a way, you could say she was loafing or not giving as much, but I think the offensive load and carrying and the engine that you need to have, it all kind of plays. I think people watch basketball and think they're playing Uno when you're really playing chess. So I encourage people to go to the next level of thinking when they watch basketball.
Right. They'd be like, skip you, reverse back to me, draw 4, the color is blue. No, it's not. That's not what we're playing right now. Check mate, homie. Check mate, big dog. That's what it is.
I got a question with I'm sorry, Cess, just real quick. What everything that Kamisha's saying, and then what about the so much energy playing offense? My question is, will that be the same on South Carolina, seeing how she doesn't have to be the engine to the offense?
No, it shouldn't be. And that if it is, it's a it's a dereliction of duty of Dawn. First thing, it won't happen because that's Dawn don't play that. Secondly, it won't happen because Dawn don't play that. Thirdly, no, it won't happen. you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Playing that way, it's a problem. That's what I like. Something is going very wrong for it to go that way. Or on the positive side, Latson is having a third quarter of game 2 like Jackie had, where the ocean, the rim was the size of the ocean and everything. Like, yeah, when someone's hot, you feed them the ball. Don't like that can happen, and Latson can clearly be that.
Right.
But it should not be happening for the duration of the season. It should happen in very spot moments.
I agree. So I say all that to say, again, what we talking about? Because y'all know what should have known that she was playing that way because of everything that she had to do for them. But now y'all saying as if y'all gonna see that same slow-footed, quote unquote, person at South Carolina. Stop it. Once again, stop it.
They ain't talking about nothing.
They ain't.
They ain't talking about nothing.
Just trying to find something to say. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna mute. Go ahead, Cess.
So, I love the comment. I love the comment that Pam brought to the chat. Pam said Dawn said they were slower in the game last night than they have been in practice. That's scary hours. I mean, not scary hours. What did I say? Nightmares. I said it's nightmares. Nightmares. If they can get any faster than what they've already shown, look, we running folks out the gym. See, sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for. Sometimes you got to be careful what you ask. They're like, Dawn ain't got no big. Dawn ain't got no scoring. Now, Dawn she got 2 bigs and a lot of scoring. What y'all going to do about that? But I want to talk about Tessa Johnson. Let's talk about Tessa. Tessa had 5 points. She was 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. She gave us 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal in 22 minutes. How did you feel about Tessa's performance?
I just want to go real quick because I want Commish to go ahead and break this down. I'm not worried about Tessa, and I could be on my cocky shit again. I don't whatever. I'm truly not worried about Tessa, her shooting or her defense. Anything else in between, honestly, I'm not either. I really feel like this year for Tessa is really gonna be a year for her. So I get whatever she shot from three. I'm not worried about it. I really not.
Me either. Great point. I'm not worried about Tessa. Tessa's gonna be watch Tessa on the defensive end. She gonna score when she need to. But Commish, Brittany, your thought?
Brittany, go ahead.
I think with Tessa, it's yesterday isn't like something to be concerned about. I think this is her first year getting the start. So that's an adjustment in itself because typically when you're coming off the bench, okay, the game's already in flow. So you already know, okay, this is the area where I can fit in at, and you're just going on with the flow of the game. Compared to starting, okay, you're setting the tone. So that'll be a bit of an adjustment for her. But it's nothing to be concerned about. I expect come the next exhibition game is against North Carolina. She'll probably be a little more aggressive. But one thing that I do like that I saw was six rebounds. I love it. 6 rebounds.
Talk about it.
Big guard.
5 defensive.
Big guard.
Big guard, baby. Box out. Rebound. Remember, careful what y'all ask for. We doing
exactly
this year.
So, like, even on a night, all right, she might not be shooting well. She's
gonna be on them boards.
She said, "Okay, I'm gonna go get some boards." So
let me ask y'all this: do y'all feel confident about Tessa? Like, I feel Tessa is gonna play like that Bree Hall role right now, right? Like, she's finna be the lockdown defender, and so clutch it's gonna hurt your feelings. Okay, like.
And she shoots better than her too.
Yeah, she's gonna be even more consistent to knock that 3 down that Bree would knock down. We need something, man. Tessa got it. The other thing about Tessa is Tessa's a dog. Whether y'all think so or not, bro. Tessa's a dog. They make dogs in Minnesota. Go check. Go check that Minnesota pedigree. Because see, Tessa's from there. So you got to go back and look at in high school, she was a starter. In high school, she was a scorer. She just got to get she just getting her starting legs back. Tessa attacks the basket. She finishes through contact. Tessa's a problem. Tessa's a problem. And the other thing about Tessa is Tessa got a little chip on her shoulder. She don't forget. She don't forget. Tessa's taking she's taking receipts. And she know who was like, Trench baby Tess wasn't there. Where was Turney Tessa? She finna show you. She finna show you grown ass Tessa. She showed up a grown ass hooper this season. A leader. And y'all better stop playing with Tessa. She finna show y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Let me get off my soapbox.
So, yes, agree with everybody. I think Tessa's year will be interesting. How do I say this? I want Tessa to be more than 3-and-D. I think that might.
Talk about it.
She can play that role. I don't want that for her, though. And I say that because 3-and-D, while is highly coveted at the W, I think she can always morph into that. She has the skills to be 3-and-D. But I actually don't want Tessa to be 3-and-D for us. I would like to see, and I think this is where the team, let's all take a pause. So I think this year, not saying we're quote unquote we're going to be good. I think though we have to allow the process to happen. Typically, you don't just like throw teams together and everything works out perfect. And the reason why I say this is like, we're going to have to learn each other and we're going to have to learn each other's spots. I actually think Tessa and Latson have a lot of overlap in in their spots, which means they got to figure out for one another, with one another, how to play on that, right? Tessa, besides her 3-ball, also likes to dribble, penetrate, and hit that midi, especially on the baseline.
One of my favorites.
Latson also does some of that too. So I just say it might get clunky at times because 1, they've never played with each other. And 2, they got to figure out, do they purposely stagger each other on other sides of the court, right? Or what? But that's part of the trials and tribulations of being on a team and figuring it out. So it's second nature.
Do you see them not being on the floor together?
No, because they're all starting. They're all starting.
No,
together.
But we saw Dawn do some platoon. We saw her do some platoon some platoon substitutions. She's gonna play with the lineup some. Do you think? And I know people get sensitive about start and everything. But do you think you can see her mix it up where she alternates them on the floor some? Because of the overlap.
I think
or
they'll
Tessa
start,
may be better with the second unit at times or something like that.
Yeah, I think they just have to figure out like the push and pull, right? Tessa's gonna start, Latson's gonna start.
Great point.
But when it's again about knowing IQ, when you're on the court with certain people, there's certain actions, there's certain things that work for you and that complement each other's game so that you're not clashing on the court. Not clashing in a bad way, but you know what I mean. Their games are clashing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then on the other end, when and I forget the substitution pattern. Maddie was the first in, right? So technically Raven went out first. Who was the second? Do you guys remember? Was it?
I
don't know. Whatever. It's fine. But the point is like that substitution pattern, Dawn's also figuring that out too. So to your point, yes, it's going to be adjusted. I don't expect full platoon, or if platoon happens, it probably happens against certain opponents.
Absolutely.
But I think it will mix and match is basically the way I'm trying to say. And I actually think that's one of the things I really liked about the team. It's just like it made it so clear. We've been talking about it, but our team is so versatile that it's just a question of like what Dawn's strategy is and what she's trying to exploit that will determine.
To answer your question, it was
scary.
Makira was second off the floor.
Yeah,
second off the bench.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk her next because I have lots to say. But
yeah, let's go.
Tessa, to stay on Tessa, I think Tessa, and kind of like last year, I'm going to talk around it, so hopefully y'all get where I'm going. Tessa, I think, was the most impacted last year as far as like her growth, and not to say her growth was stunted, but I think Tessa was more of the Swiss Army knife to plug and play like certain either lineups or what we needed her to do. Auntie, you always say that Tessa was an understudy of Bree last season, which you do see aspects of that. But for Tessa's holistic game, I hope they can figure out by the end of the season, like Tessa is not only just shooting threes, but she has the choice and optionality to shoot threes, to penetrate, to pull up, like come off pin downs, come off screens. Like Tessa's game is very holistic that I don't want her to just be 3-and-D or, whatever version of that. I want Tessa's game to be holistic and really her be able to read and let the game come to her. And that determines, what the defense gives her is what she does rather than I'm only shooting threes or I'm only penetrating. So Tessa's a little bit more nuanced for me, but I think we'll know her mentality, her aggressiveness will be the key indicator that I'm looking at. And then, of course, her defense. Knowing how to start, too. I think that's the other thing. To give Tessa some grace. Yeah, to give Tessa some grace because it's her first time starting, that she's going to have to figure out her energy. Kind of
like with Agot.
Yeah, everybody does. Like anytime you start, like you have to bring the energy. And that's exactly what Donna said. When she chooses her starters, it's people she knows she can rely on to bring the energy or the defensive intensity. They set the tone for the team.
I just was looking at the score, the box score again, and I know we're not supposed to box score watch Brittany, but I did watch. I did see this in the box score, and I wanted to just call this out. Like, yo, the second quarter we outscored them 30-2. 30-2. Like at the end of the half, they had eight points, y'all. They had eight points.
Well, while we're at it, are we going to talk about the third quarter, or are we going to save that for later?
We're going to say that for later.
Okay.
The third quarter, we came out like, we already got them beat.
F-L-A-T. F-L-A-T.
We came out real flat. Yeah. So, but let's finish going through the players first, and then we'll break down the quarters. But I just noticed that 30-2, and it was like, my goodness. I think you said you wanted to talk. I got Makir. 16 points, 5 of 9 from the floor, 0 for 1 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw. Look, man, the youngster gave us six total rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. I said 5 steals in 24 minutes.
That's that line I love.
Plus minus 47. Let's talk about it. Let me tell y'all this. Let me say this. I'm super relieved because I'm like, what's that on her leg? What's that? Why she got that brace on? Maybe she needs to rest. What? She got that body by Molly? You don't wear no braces. Ain't no braces on the floor out here. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving that we got her ready. I just love everything about this kid, man. The defense, the length. I think Bree Wayne said, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she got a 6'4" wingspan. You put the 6'4" wingspan next to 6'2", how tall are you? That's like 12'6", ain't it? God, bro, 12'6", a 12'6" wingspan on our defense. Talk to me about it, y'all. Make it make sense.
Yeah, that math you're using is the same math people be using on Ravens. So watch out.
Here we go.
We 12'6" out. We 12'6" out here, y'all. Come on.
I'm excited to see what she do on defense. I really want to start there for real. I think she need to, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kamish already said this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty much that Chloe diet, finish at the rim. And offense, I think she gonna with the diet and finishing at the rim. That's gonna make her scary. Hey, 4 years there. Oh man, defense for me. I want to see her on the defense end. That stat line. Come on, man. We filling up the box scores like that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. If there was fantasy college.
Here we go.
Fantasy college basketball.
We a cheat code.
Shit. I would choose Agot.
Absolutely.
She will be getting me points, 3-pointers, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. Oh my God. She would be the cheat code of a fantasy collegiate basketball. Like impacts the floor. That stuffer impacts the floor in every capacity. Yeah. I actually go ahead. I'll remember. Are you changing the topic? Okay.
No. I was gonna ask y'all a question about her, but go ahead.
There was one that got me out of my seat. She got the ball. And it is funny that Dawn said our pace was slow, because I was like, yo, we just running and gunning. But there was one they like outletted it to her, or she got the rebound. I can't remember exactly how she got the ball, but she got that ball. She was coming down the court. She did this like in and out move. I said, "Oh my God!" and just went straight to the.
It's so natural. It's one of her favorites. It's a what hit with the shoulders, bop bop. Yeah, it's a bop bop. Yeah, hit him.
Yeah,
bop bop. Yeah, and it's a bop bop. It's a quick. It's like
exactly. It was like 2 times speed, and I just said, oh my God. And then honestly, yes. You know how you read people, speaking of box score, you read people's heights. When you look, I said she damn near like tall as Joyce. Right.
Okay, so let's talk about her makeup for a minute, because I've been saying that she's got to get on that big grits, that Chloe Kitts, that big grits Kitts diet. But I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
She's way more wiry strong than Chloe is. Chloe had to get some oomph to it. She needed a little junk in her trunk. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way, but just a little behind it. Agot will smack you. She ain't tripping. She's wiry strong. Try her if you want to. Like, I was looking at her out there. She was moving people like, hey, watch out now. You down here with me. So she, even though she didn't seem, you said just some grits, you don't need big grits. Okay, some grits. Even though she looks thin. Hey, that kid
heavy though.
Then I gave her credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah, she wiry strong. I gotta give her that.
Just finishing at the rim. What y'all feel about that?
Well, honestly, a lot of people were struggling. I'm gonna chalk some of that up to nerves. Just in general, I thought we were missing some shots around. We settled in the second half. Go ahead.
No, you said nerves, and I was gonna say, just keep in mind everybody that was in the building. Like, it wasn't just their first game in CLA in college. Now, like
Asia
in the building. Ryan is in the building, Tahina's in the building, like all of these people, Charlemagne's in the building. It was the media, so it's a lot on their first like exhibition. So I think I'm with you.
I heard that. I'm sorry, real quick. I heard when Asia came in, one of our girls made a 3. Do y'all know who that was? After
that was
she came
Joyce.
in and said,
that was Joyce.
That's crazy work. Let's go. Go ahead, Commish.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's this, some of the reality of like, these are humans. These are human girls. These are human girls in college playing for South Carolina. So, I'm glad we got some of the, I hope we got some of the nerves kind of shook out of us a little bit. And then Dawn, I saw posted her and Champ early this morning. So they back at practice, or at least the coaches are. So they'll work on it. They'll have adjustments. They'll have things they're trying to do for UNC. So I think, so coming into this season, Isla was my like, what do they call them? Diaper dandies from Dick Vitale. But Isla was my like, yeah, I'm excited about Isla. I'm not gonna say I'm switching up on Isla. Isla's still there, but Agot, oh my God. I said, wait a minute, I might have to have both the freshmen as my diaper dandies, because I think Agot's gonna get a lot more based on the rotation of who came in, what we saw her do. I think Dawn is gonna play that girl. That girl might actually, I think someone might have said it in the chat, she might have more of a freshman of the year campaign than people realize.
Oh, she coming. Yeah, she's not here playing around. She's not here playing around. And I love that. And I think Isla Weiler is going to get going too. But I love the way that they're coming in off of their summer, because everybody was like, they weren't even there. They haven't practiced. They don't know. They're going to be tired. No, they not. They locked in. They ready to go. They gang. Put it back in the check. So I want to hear it like that.
I also think we know the ranking system is highly flawed for the high schoolers, but if we get what we watched, even in spurts, I think it further proves that why Agot was ranked where she was before her injuries. Like, that girl can go on both sides of the floor. They had her doing a little bit of everything. That's why I'm like, it's almost like she's positionless. That's why I was like, when we were kind of talking about who's going to be the first sub and who's playing what position, Agot can play all of it. Like, she can go. You need her to handle the ball, she can handle the ball. You need her. Honestly, I'm not even sure positions really matter the way that I saw us play. It was whoever gets the ball and whoever's capable of handling the ball down the court, whether that be our 5, whether that be our 1, go and push it forward. So if we're playing in transition the ways in which I think we will, like, honestly, it doesn't really matter as much. But I just knowing Dawn and her tendencies, she still wants us to run half court sets. So yeah, it will be interesting.
Anything else on Agot?
Agot. Talk about positionless. I can imagine 4 years. Oh gosh. Pack it up. Pack it on up.
Pack it up. She a problem.
Pack
it up. She a problem.
It's just the fact that you can do Dawn can do so much. If you're playing on the wing, you play on the wing. She'll knock down some threes and she'll get to the hoop. And then if you want to put her on the block, you can do that too.
So I see her like our LA. Hopefully, just more.
Great. Yeah, that's a great. I love that.
I see her as our LA, but less of a 5, right?
Yes.
Do
you see her growing into that 5 by the end of 4 years?
I don't, unless she has a massive growth spurt. I don't want her playing the 5. I actually don't. No. I don't want her playing the 5.
LA didn't play much of the 5 though, did she?
She played everything for us.
Right, because I was gonna say, remember
when she played everything.
A 3 game starting when she was starting, or maybe it was 2 when Henny was out and she was our starting.
Or Henny, sorry, yeah.
So
and did well.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and she didn't turn the ball over. Let's go,
man. What? Come on now, for a coach to take our point guard to be down, and we take a player like LA to be the starting point guard for. Wow. All right. Wow, that speaks volume.
The freshmen really are plug and play players. That's why I found it so. I was like, I can't tell you because I don't know what Dawn wants to do with them, because she can do so much with them. Like, they unlock our versatility in a way that we haven't seen since the LA days. Like they're
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
I still think like LA, I think part of what LA was ahead of her time, if you will, right? Had LA now been with South Carolina or come out within this past year, I think her position in the W would have been more solidified. Also, had she had a better coaching situation. But I digress. We're not getting into
Right.
that.
Don't get me started on that, lady.
Look, listen. I even have issues with Coach of the Year, but we'll let that one go for now. But I do think I think Dawn's had a Agot before in LA, and she's going to have a better sense of what to do with her and play with her because she's already had a player like that. So more to come, more to see, but I trust Dawn has a plan for her, and she's going to execute that plan.
I love 6'6" from the free throw. 6
Wow.
and 6 from the free throw.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so shooter, Rooter, because we got shooters. You brought up Isla. Let's talk Isla. Isla is still. Hey, listen, Isla is still. She's still my freshman. Listen, her breakout is going to come at a different time. She still has some of the best basketball here in the game. 6 points, 3 to 6, 3 to 6 from the floor. No free throw. No, I'm sorry, no threes. And then she gave us 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal in 15 minutes. For the freshman, I like it. I like it. I don't, I think, like you said, for where she's gonna be in the rotation, I think we're still kind of figuring out how we're gonna play her because she is also one of the bigger guards that we have. And once Dawn figures out that rotation, Isla and Agot coming down court at y'all with like a Maddie McDaniel coming with the ball is scary. That's scary. With a Joyce, never mind. Go ahead. Let's talk Isla. I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you
listen? I'm telling y'all. I'm already like,
again?
Okay, I'm gonna give you her stat line again, but let me tell you this. I'm already like, like got visions of like Kelsey and Ashlyn and Chloe and Isla and Agot it. Like I'm already into next season, seeing what I just saw on the floor. Just this one game, like, dang, what we're gonna look like when we put these other bigs back. But let me give you the stat line one more time. 3 of 6 from the floor, 6 points. She had 2 total rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal in 15 minutes. And no fouls, no turnovers. So, and a plus 19 on the floor. She could play 3 and 4, you think? Okay.
When I look at Isla, I feel as though I'm looking at a very fundamentally sound player. A player that, hey, you know what you're going to get night in and night out. I think yesterday she was probably the nerves.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as the season goes, I really expect for her to get on the boards a lot more. So like 5, 6 rebounds would not be surprising from her. And then I want her to not be gun shy. Let it fly.
There you go. Shoot it.
Because she has a very pretty shot. It's very pretty.
Oh my gosh. And she has a pretty game.
Yes, I was just gonna say Isla's game is one that I'm drawn to the most. I wonder if Dawn, back to kind of add to your point, Brittany, Isla feels like the one that she's versatile, but I wonder if she needs more clear roles and responsibilities. I'm not sure, only because of the gun shyness that we have seen. I wonder if Isla just needs that to help feel more comfortable. And, everybody has different, especially coming from high school, the role that she played there. Watching the All-Americans, the Nike Summit, that type of stuff, just seeing kind of how, and even Brazil, right? I wonder if she needs more clear, this is what we want you to do. And not saying Dawn doesn't give that, but I just wonder if she's the player that needs that a little bit more than others. because as compared to our other diaper dandy we just mentioned, Gotti with the shoddy,
with the shoddy,
Gotti is probably going to have more ball handling responsibilities and is comfortable with that as compared to Isla, who's playing more of a wing position. As Bree Wayne said, 3-4. So for her, she needs more initiation of the offense and more clear spots, or she needs to crash the boards, and that's how she's going to get points. So I wonder when she is in the game, I think Dawn's maybe going to need to be a little bit more. If it's more scoring that we need to see, which I don't think so, but if it's more scoring and her letting it fly, I wonder if she needs a little bit more of a green light, or she just needs to be told, like, I'm not, because she doesn't take stupid shots. Like, that's just not in her game.
Exactly.
And to your point, she's very fundamentally sound. I almost wonder if I almost want her to make more mistakes early on so that she can feel that out and feel comfortable with it. Like, Isla's not someone who's going to take 20 shots in a game. Like, that's just not, like, I will be like, that would be surprising. So I wonder for her, especially in practice, even the clip that we saw at the end of the last practice where she took the last shot, but I think that's the thing they're going to have to work out with Isla, is how to make her more comfortable and know exactly where she should take good shots from. I actually think we need to let her take bad shots so that she feels comfortable, because she's so oriented to taking the right shot. But in our offense, like, that's not always going to be the perfect shot. Like, sometimes, like, we just got to feel that out is basically where I'm going. So that will be my thing with Isla, and I'm with you. I'd like to see her be a little bit more aggressive, and if that includes driving and then popping for a shot, because she does have such a beautiful shot, then let that be the offense where she goes, or she gets it more in transition.
Absolutely, Commish. I think she's definitely one where you have to say, hey, go play free. Play free. She's the one that you would encourage. Go play free.
Too soon. It's too soon for her to play free.
Well,
she's off the leash. She's not being
it's a lot of freedom out here right now. I ain't ready for it just yet. So it's a lot of free folks out here right now. So I don't know. Too soon. My bad. Her MIDI is so pure. Yeah, she definitely got a pure MIDI. Okay, let's goodness gracious. So let's go here because this is somebody I was excited to see get on the floor. Miriam Dowda, scary Mary Carey. Look, 6 points, 3 or 4 from the floor, no threes, 1 block, 1 steal, 19 minutes, plus minus 23. Miriam Dowda, man. How did y'all feel about Miriam? Y'all want me to start? Because I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Dowda. I'm excited about Dowda. I'm excited about Dowda because it's not about the scoring. And Glasses, as she'll forever be known. Loving to hear.
I thought we moved
but I mean, it's just, when your granny name you something, that's just who you is sometimes. When they go back sometime back down memory lane. That's scary Mary Carey though. What I love about Dowda is her energy. If nothing else, you're gonna know you are on the floor with Miriam Dowda. Now, stat line doesn't look like much. Her action, her energy, her intentionality to box out, to rebound, to keep people off the glass, to make the right play, I love it. But what I love most about it is she looks so confident on the floor. She looks so comfortable as a Gamecock. Her voice is being used. She looks like she understands what it is to be a Gamecock now. Last year I told y'all she looked like we had rescued her from the shelter. Like she had been, I don't know. That's how I felt. You got to just keep them close to you. They got separation anxiety and everything. I don't know what they did to Miriam down there in Arkansas, but now we done welcomed her all in. She's here now. So I'm loving the leadership that she's stepping into, and I expect her WNBA stock to shoot off the charts. But what do y'all think?
I think we've heard a lot of great things about Miriam since the summer. Mm-hmm. They've been talking about how well she's improved and how confident she's become. Because I think like you said, last season, it was a lot of thinking. It was too much thinking. And it's just like, hey, just play basketball. Don't thinking too much on the threes or thinking just too much thinking. So I think now that she's been with the Gamecocks for over a year, now she understands how the programs ran and what exactly Don wants from her. So I am very excited to see how she's going to bring her energy to this group, and especially with the holes that, well, I won't say holes, but now the opportunity that she'll really have at the 4 or 5 spot. I think it'll definitely help her be able to get more minutes and just to show everybody, hey, look, I know y'all thought how I was last season, but I'm coming a little different.
Oh yeah.
And I want to
get back to that. I'll throw the ball in your face, Mary Kay.
Show me a little bit of that here.
Well, apparently Dawn's going to be trying to piss them all off because they too nice, is what she said.
But say that.
But the last time she said that was about the freshies, so I ain't great. That's not a problem for me. I do. We'll get to that later.
She does look stronger. I like that.
Miriam, I think, to add to your point, it's not even just what we heard. Maybe it's what I saw, because Miriam has been. I watched her partially because she posts so much, so shout out to that. But
yeah,
Miriam went to work right after the championship loss. Like, she is someone we saw immediately over the summer. She was like, her and Deli, the coach, were basically like hanging out. She was constantly in cold tubs in the facilities. Like, Miriam didn't go home. She didn't go home for a while. And so she went to work right after. She was doing I forget the name of the trainer, but he works with a lot of our South Carolina people historically. But she went to work with him, and you can just tell not only the strength, the foundational skills, because we have to remember when she was rescued from the dog pound of Arkansas, the way they played her was not good for her size. Yeah, was not. Thank you, Dre. Was not good for her size. Or they used her in a very interesting way. That's the way to say it. I won't say it was not good for her size, but the way that Dawn is using her and Boyer are using her, that you can tell they're very much like, cool, you can shoot threes. Let's not go away from that, even though she didn't shoot it last game. But let's make you more than just you screen and pop and shoot threes, because that's how they were using her at Arkansas. And so now you even saw a big seal happen. You saw her fight for position early. So what I really like about Miriam, and I've been saying this, and not that this should be her sole focus, but I see her a lot like an Azurá Stevens with maybe more foundational post ups, right? And not that Azurá doesn't do that, but like that's who I see as her comp, and I'd actually love that. So I still want to see Miriam still shoot some threes. I hope she doesn't, completely go away from that. But I do love seeing her being physical in the paint and fighting for position. And you can tell she feels confident and comfortable with that, because those are the drills. Those are the drills she drilled with Dre. Say that 3 times fast. So I'm very excited about that. And that's another person I'm looking at, her development and her confidence. And again, to give her some credit, I think Arkansas, I can't tell you the last time Arkansas had a big player and how they developed, because I even think about Higginbottom, who was before that, but like, it seemed very guard you. And that also makes sense when you think about Neighbors and when he was with Kelsey Plum. Like, I'm not sure bigs are his specialty, and therefore anybody who was tall didn't really have some of those foundational things. Now, I could be forgetting someone at Arkansas, but nothing is popping off to me. So if you think about Miriam's last year and why it felt like she was overthinking so much, it's because she actually was learning different skill sets. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Miriam was also one of those who started basketball later in her life, as compared to others. So she just had more foundational things to work on and to drill. But shout out to Miriam. You can tell she put in the work, not only because she, she really put in the work by being on campus and drilling a lot of those foundational things. So I'm excited to see that continue.
Hey, listen, I think I finally saw what Dawn said about Miriam last year. They asked Dawn about Miriam last year, and I don't know, you guys, I don't know how many times I watched the interview, so you guys may not remember. But she was like, the three is probably like the least best thing that Miriam does for us.
Yes.
The three ball is the least best thing that she does for us. And I was like, what, Dawn? Did we bring her here to shoot? Isn't that what she's here for? And this year, I see what Dawn was talking about. It's the least best thing she does for us. So shoot the three ball, don't shoot the three ball. Everything else that she's doing is it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Miriam.
Other thing. Sorry, one other
ahead.
add to again Miriam's mentality that really spiked for me. So when we started doing Final Fridays, and those videos were coming out, I remember there was one, I think it was before Joyce was deployed in her overseas deployments, but there was one where everybody, you could, like, they asked Joyce, how was it? And Joyce just like stared at the camera. And then Miriam comes around from the corner. She's like, it was tough, but it was good for us, guys. It's good.
Yeah.
Like, I think even just having that type of light and spirit during tough days, and even again, right after the championship, like, you heard Miriam and you could tell, like, she was like, oh, this is what it's like to play in a heightened system and to have all these marbles. And you could just tell, like, she was ready for it and she wanted to be better. And I think that will carry us through the entire, I think her mentality is what I was really excited about. Not only her mentality, not only did she say the right things, she did the things. So her actions matched. Yeah, her actions this season or this off season matched exactly with, that moment for her. So while Miriam is all happy-go-lucky, but that happy-go-lucky silent confidence is super dangerous. So I really like that.
So anything else on Miriam? If not, I'm gonna transition to another, I think, kind of emotional light on the team, and somebody else I'm super excited about, and I think people are really overlooking. Adele Top.
Deli.
Listen, Deli had 7 points. She was 3 for 3. 1 or 2 on free throws. She had 8 rebounds. She had 1 assist. She had 1 block. She had a steal. Y'all know she had a foul. One thing about Deli, she gonna get a foul. One of them. Okay. She also had a turnover, but she did that work in like 12 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like 8 rebounds in 12 minutes is nasty work. Like, bro, like that means that when Deli's on the floor, who getting rebounds? Nobody. The way that Deli cleans the floor, listen, I was so excited. First of all, this is another one, Commish, to your point, that I think stayed and saw at the end of last year, at the end of that championship game, like, oh, it's time to get right. Shout out to Camila Cardoso. And I know we're not talking about last year's team, but shout out to Camila Cardoso, because I don't think people talk enough about her leadership, her mentorship, and the way that she took Deli under her wing. If you go back and you look at Deli from her freshman season till now, like, she's a Gamecock, but there's some Camila Cardoso fingerprints on Adele Top. And I think because Camila was so quiet in front of the camera, I don't think that she was really that quiet behind the camera. And I think that they respected Camila as a leader, and she held them together way more than people give her credit for. So shout out to Camila Cardoso, because like a lot of who Adele Top is right now is based on all of that time that she kept spending with Camila Cardoso. And people were like, why isn't she in Chicago? She was right where she needed to be when she was there. And now she's in South Carolina taking care of business. 8 rebounds in 12 minutes, and then found some time to get 7 points and foul somebody, get a turnover, get a steal and a block. You talking about somebody doing the most with their time. Remember Adele Top coming in, Dawn called her Aaliyah Boston Light. Aaliyah Boston like is 6'7", and I'm saying 6'7". And I know what I'm saying, and I know how they got her listed, but look at her standing out there next to Medina Agot and tell me what you think. Small, she's in shape, her confidence, but her voice, man, her leadership. She stepped into that role of Fago doing the handshakes with the team, hanging out with the she was like, hanging out with the younger players, like really being that emotional leader for this team, and her IQ off the charts. Okay, I'm gonna get off my Dale talk. So, but somebody else talk Deli.
Her coming in early, back to your points around Camilla, I think are one of the greatest things about some of these folks who have come in early. So Chloe came in early. Adele came in early. Adele clearly with her injuries and needing to rehab and getting back and all that stuff. Like Adele's may take more time, but that's actually a good thing because when you're that big and tall, right? Like your lower extremity injuries are more impactful, if you will, or more severe than if you're shorter to the ground. So actually getting right is so key. And I think, like you said, her body demonstrates that she's back healthy and she's not just trying to build strength or functionality back in her legs. She's actually now getting to the point of functional strength and those things. And so I think continuing to have confidence in her body at that level and at her skill set, her ability to run the floor, are all the things we need. But while her body was working on getting ready, her mentality and her IQ, while she already had it, I think got further emphasized. And knowing what Dawn wants, especially out of that big position, being that defensive anchor in the back line and being vocal is really important. Not only you're seeing everything, but it also helps because then your guards get to hear what's going on behind you, calling out switches, those type of things. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for Adele. She's clearly a very smart, intelligent young lady. And so for her to build up her confidence, have the confidence in what Dawn wants in the terminology in the system, but having that overlap with Camilla, I think was super helpful for her. And so everything kind of needed to be put in place. And I hope that she continues to stay healthy, and that she's even able to not necessarily learn behind Agot, excuse me, I have to work on my pronunciation, but she's going to be able to help her, and she's also going to be able to help Adele. So I think the reciprocity of them being together is going to be really great because she can also learn a little bit more of the physicality. Not that Adele doesn't have it, but she's going to be able to see it and observe it and watch it. And especially for someone that intellectual to be able to come off the bench, she's going to be able to see what the team is doing and then be able to communicate that with other people. Even her freshman year, she was talking to Camilla what she was seeing. So
yes,
I saw her tell Lay what she saw. Like Lay come ask what she saw on the floor. But Commish, how important is it, or how beneficial is it for her to also now be able to not have to try to simulate, but to have 6'6" in the gym to go against, right?
Yes.
Right. How is that for her? Her continued development. I thought that was great.
I think yes is the answer to your question, right? Like the fact that they're going to be able to practice against each other, and not a lot of teams have that. You don't have someone your size or your strength to really practice against. And that was actually the benefit Camilla had with AB and AB with Camilla. And so I think I see something similar happening with both of them. And I think that's really great. They both run the floor very well. So even as a 6'7", right, like having another big that runs like you, that actually forces you to run the floor. And so I think they're gonna iron sharpens iron, right? They're gonna be able to sharpen each other in a really meaningful way. And speaking of Camilla, I know she snuck her way to Columbia this off season, and I think even just having Camilla in the gym with Camilla's growth was great, I think, for both of them. And so, I mean, we know Asia's in the building too, so I don't know if she has time to do a gym run with them, but I'm sure she has notes for both of them having watched. So I think just like
Asia looked like she was watching like a coach. I was watching. Sometimes
She
I got
was
caught up
she
in just
was
watching.
intense.
She was
Yeah.
intense on that floor. Like, oh wait, especially like with the bigs. Like I was noticing, A was like, "Hey, don't ask her no question right now. She locked in." It was like
she
was on
wasn't
her
really
couch.
talking. Yeah, she wasn't really talking with the people next to her. She was watching the game.
No,
so
she was like, "Let me see what this is out here." So I loved it. I loved that the intensity just that A had in watching our bigs. Yes, I love that. Who else? Somebody else was in the building. Oh, Tahit Pow Pow and Gray.
Yep.
I think those was the only Gamecocks I saw.
Yep. Adele, I'm trying. Yeah, the emotional leader. I think the one
I'm
who's going to
excited
be
to
able
see
to
that.
get everybody together. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I'm really excited to see. I want her to stay healthy. I'm praying for that as well too. But the vocal leadership, the emotional leader, I'm excited to see that part of Deli as well too. Them 8 rebounds just made my heart smile. Like seriously, like her on them boards is gonna be nice for us. Everything else gonna come. Again, I just really want her to stay healthy. I'm looking forward to and it's so crazy, more the leadership side of her versus what she gonna give us, because I know it's coming. Health, Deli, that's it.
Health for everybody. I'm wishing for a healthy season for everybody. Anything else on Adele, Brittany?
With Adele, I think she'll have the biggest jump this year out of everyone. I really hope. And I think my biggest thing for her was playing like you're the biggest person on the court without fouling.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're 6'7", but you need to play like you're 6'7". You need to have that aggressiveness, but also make sure that it's like, hey, I'm also not fouling. Because that was one thing that when she was playing last season, she was picking up fouls too quick. So
that's the one thing I hope. That's the one thing I hope Asia works on with them. Asia has great body control, especially even with going for the blocks. I love. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't cut you off. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Oh no.
We need Deli on the floor for real.
Yes, we need her to stay on the floor. To be honest, we need all the bigs to be able to stay on the floor.
If I'm Boyer or Dawn, I mean, the reality is, and I hate to be not pessimistic, but whatever. The reality is, we know there's a bias towards bigs, and especially bigs that have South Carolina on their jersey. And we just play more physical. What was that game? Was it Texas where they asked Dawn like, "Oh, how are you adjusting to the whistle?" And Dawn was like, "I'm not adjusting to shit." Basically, she didn't say shit, but like that was the energy she gave. She's like, "We gonna play how we gonna play," you know. And so the reality is, we still gonna be physical, but again, to your point, how do you make the team feel your presence without picking up fouls, Brittany? And I'm very much on that. And that's really hard to do as bigs, because there's bias or predisposition of some of these refs to just blow their whistle because they're big. And it's like, but if my hands are straight up and you come into me, that's not a foul. But they need to be disciplined. They need to make sure their hands are straight up. And you don't got to swat everything, even though I did love Agot's swat or coat. But I do think that is something that you're gonna have to do. And because Adele's been out of basketball for so long, I think there's just like a natural anxiousness to like block shots and swat it. And so, yeah, she's going to have to just realize that her value is availability for us. And even if you don't block everything, the fact of how tall you are and how long you are, it's going to alter shots. So I think altering shots should actually be more what she's concentrated on, or affecting shots around the rim more than blocking shots. So, and I think also with her getting more conditioning, not saying she's out of shape, she's just out of basketball shape, which Dawn told us last year. She's going to have to move her feet. Her feet is what needs to move,
Absolutely.
not her hands.
Yes. Absolutely.
Anything else on Adele? All right, well, let's roll into Maddie. This is another one I'm excited to see, because I don't think that people really know what. And Maddie is still kind of like a freshman and a half. as far because she didn't play as much last season, so I'm still considering her kind of like a freshman in certain instances. So 4 points, 2 of 6 from the floor, missed 2 threes, missed a free throw, gave us 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal in 16 minutes. Her speed, her defense, her want to. Maddie wants to. You can see it in her face, in her play. Her want to, I think it's going to be scary. Maddie is still figuring out a few things. I think the concussion protocol and how long she was out and just getting herself back to normal just took a lot out of her development on the floor when it was time to develop. Like she's getting a full off season, a full development, I call it preseason, but non-conference that I think is going to allow her to get a lot of that development in. One thing about Maddie, I was like, I'm gonna keep it a buck because it's just us. We just talking. It's just brunch. When when the championship was over, Maddie was like, I'm outside, and I was like, oh man, Maddie's outside. I don't know. Is Maddie coming back in? What I loved about Maddie is Maddie went outside. She did everything she wanted to do outside, and then it looked like she got to a point where she shut down, and it was like, it's go to work time. And Maddie has been working ever since I saw her last shut it down party time. And I am so impressed with the work that I see. It doesn't show up in the stat line right now, but with her being the first one off the bench, that says a lot about the confidence that Dawn has in her ability and what she's going to bring. But you guys' thoughts?
Can
Maddie?
I just...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just real quick to what Cess was saying, and I want to ask the ladies here, because this is what I thought, just me. Is it more because first of all, did Maddie come in for a Raven?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it more so also, this is Raven's last year, we're not going to have her, but Maddie we're still going to have. So we're doing the whole, because who was that year? It was the same thing with Raven, wasn't it? Who was it?
Oh yeah, Maddie got to show this year that she's ready. Raven is back, partly because Raven wanted to be back, but I also just felt like Raven feels a responsibility to the program, and she knew that nobody was ready to take the keys yet. I got a chance to run it back with my girls, with my girl. We still kind of figured it out. Maddie was a little bit stunned in her development. Raven knew it wasn't time to take the keys. But I think Maddie is here to show y'all she's ready to take the keys.
I think Maddie, she still gotta, I don't want to say grow up fast on the court, but
oh no,
I feel like we.
I just don't think that we got a chance to see everything.
I agree.
Because I saw Drip. We saw Drip actually calling plays for Maddie last year, out of timeouts. Like Maddie, go get a bucket, and it was Maddie downhill to the bucket. So. But I agree. There are some things that she has to show. But by the time conference play starts, we're going to start to see it. And in March, she's going to turn that corner where we're going to be like, oh, Maddie, Isla, Agot, Maddie, Agot, Tessa, that's a problem, right? Like,
so here's my not challenge, but I think Maddie is a different type of point guard than Raven. Therefore, it's kind of hard when Maddie comes in for Raven. Like, it's not a 1-for-1 substitution, if you will. I think Maddie, who's my comp for Maddie a little bit? I had it, but it escaped me. Maddie gives me a little bit more of those combo guards we're starting to see. Okay. But I think, I don't know if it's like per se, because Maddie has a little bit more of that flash and that, like, Maddie reminds me of a change of pace back, like a running back.
Oh, you said Maddie's like Kiera Fletcher? Is that what you said, KT?
Maddie reminds me more of like, Maddie reminds me of like your change of pace back that you have in the NFL. Like for a running back position, you have your 1-2 punch. Like Maddie's like that quick twitch. Oh, yeah. I'm getting running back screens type of thing.
Pollard coming in behind Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, or like Gibbs and Montgomery. Montgomery's more of your traditional running back, but Gibbs is giving you kind of all the herky jerk. Maddie is like that as a point guard for me. Mm-hmm. When you're coming in for a Raven, who's a little bit more of that traditional point guard, it's hard to really equate the two, because they probably should run offense a little bit differently.
Yeah, and that's what I thought Don wanted. That's what
And I
liked.
think that's what Don wanted, but I think that's maybe what we, and it's only an exhibition game, but maybe that's kind of what we're sensing and what we're feeling is we haven't really solidified Maddie's style as a point guard. But I think what's going to really make that interesting, and just hearing Dawn talk about, like, she feels like Maddie's where she needs to be, right? And Maddie has a better sense of what Dawn wants her to do. So I think that's kind of just going to be what we continue to experience as Maddie gets more comfortable in the role that she needs to play, or the impact she needs to have on the game. But I did notice when Maddie was in the game, I did feel like the pace picked up, and there was a lot of go-ahead passes, which is great. I think continuing to experience that, and her getting more comfortable, and her having her own voice and commanding the room with our team is what I think she needs to work on, so that it's more clear when she comes in the game, like, what are we doing? What's the pace? Moving the ball, that type of thing. And really just like her voice needs to, she's called Mouse for a reason, but her voice needs to ring true in that huddle more. So I think that's what she needs to work on as a point guard, and point guard's a hard position. So I think it's always going to be harder the younger you are.
I think, did we get 5 Mouse sightings in the vlog? Like, I think we're trending in the right direction right now as far as her voice, her coming out of her shell. And I say that jokingly, but also like seriously, because I hear what you're saying. You want to hear her voice starting to command the guard room at South Carolina. So that, and I think Raven wants to see that too. So I think she'll be challenged to do that. Great point. Maddie, ladies, Brittany, highlight.
I think with Maddie similar to Adele, those two are going to be ones that are going to have to stay on the floor and do what Dawn needs them to do when they get on the floor. I think kind of what Kamish said, like, her and Raven are different types of point guards. So Maddie needs to find her style, what fits her, in the way in which she wants to run the floor. But I think if Maddie does well and run and commands the floor well, Dawn's not going to have to start looking for a bunch of different options when it comes to, okay, when Raven goes to the bench, all right, Maddie don't got it, now I got to find somebody else. Now I have to run Latson at the one more than she would probably want to. So I think Maddie playing well is going to bring a sense of security for the bench, and a sense of security for when, all right, Raven needs rest. Dawn can confidently say, all right, Maddie, go in there, go do what you need to do. So it's not sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I hope that Maddie can do this year for them. And then the other part is I would think that if Maddie plays really well, that when the season's over, when it comes to portal movements and just whoever's left in next year's class, looking for those freshmen and so on and so forth. When you're looking for, all right, who's going to be my next point guard? We can say, all right, the next point guard for South Carolina, the next starting point guard for South Carolina is Maddie. And we can confidently say that and say, yep, it's Maddie. There's no questions about it. Whoever else Dawn brings in, all right, yeah, they coming off the bench. But this is Maddie's team. That's what I hope.
I agree.
That's what I hope for Maddie.
And I see Pam Burke saying in one of the earlier videos, they had a clip with Maddie yelling, for lack of a better word, commanding her team. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Like, command your team. I like to see Maddie. The other thing about Maddie is, even as early as last year, Maddie will huddle them up. Hey, come here. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know what they say in those huddles. I would love to get in there and hear. But I like to see just that leadership and her feeling empowered to be able to do that. So great call out. Great call out.
And the reality is Maddie will be a junior next year, which junior point
time.
guard like that. Yeah, it's time. So I think it's a natural maturation. I don't think Maddie's quote unquote behind or anything like that per se. I just think that's her focus for this year. And good point, Pam. Like, yeah, I did see her yelling in her baby voice, but
not her baby voice.
That's what she has.
She make it, but she make a really good mean face when she yelling though. Like, you believe Maddie. I don't know if they can hear her, but you know she's saying something. Like, hey, whatever it is, she mean it a lot.
Maddie can be the smallest one on the floor, but she need to be one of the loudest.
Right.
And I think Raven will make sure of that. I love that Tanaya being there. I think she'll get that. You know, they'll both be able to pour into her, and that will help her maturation a little quicker. And when I say behind, I don't think behind as a basketball player. I think behind as far as knowing and learning and being comfortable in Dawn's system, where she should be as a point guard, meaning knowing what she needs to do and where everybody else is supposed to be, and the nuances of Dawn's expectations. I think she's a little bit behind there. So that's what I mean there.
Well, I think it starts with commanding that second unit or whenever she gets in the game. And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, watching through someone else's live who was on the baseline, the baseline, or sideline, excuse me. No, that's baseline. It's hard to tell, right? Because we only see one side of the floor. So I don't have a good sense. And I don't mean to say like Maddie did or didn't do it. I'm just emphasizing for her what her focus area should be. So that definitely starts with commanding whatever unit when she's in the game. Like, she needs to command that unit. And so I think it's just part of the maturation process, which I'm excited for. And she can score. So we'll continue to see her maturation as the season unfolds.
Absolutely. Anything else on Maddie Mouse? Well, we must go to Agot then. Agot, let's go to Medina Agot. 17 points, 8 of 17 from the floor. Shot 1-3, didn't make that. 1 for 1 from free throw. We had 15 total rebounds and assists. 6 blocks. I said 6 blocks, 3 steals. So, like, stocks is in there. She got stocks, y'all. 23 minutes of work. Let me say that one more time. I'm sorry. 17 points, 8 of 17, 1 for 1 from free throw, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 blocks. I just wanted to say 6 blocks again for real. 3 steals. 23 minutes of work. Let's talk about Medina. Let's talk about it. I mean, my goodness. I don't even, man, listen.
They're really not.
I expected something. I don't even got a word for what we saw last night, y'all.
No, all of that.
Like, Mississippi State, you had that down there?
They didn't play.
Jerkayla, you had that down there with you?
They played a guard-focused offense, which is why this whole, all the best players are about to be guards in the W. Yeah, that may be true, but it's ridiculous. Like, you cannot have someone like that. The easiest shot in basketball is right next to the rim. Like, you just can't do anything with that, and that just makes your offense flow. And while everybody's trying to crash and stop the post from scoring, that's what opens up the rest of the floor. And this is actually quintessential Dawn Staley offense. I know the other day there was a question about what offense South Carolina runs. This is it, inside out. Yep. You got to establish the paint, and I'm just really excited that once she chose us, the maturation, the revolution will be televised, right? We are seeing the evolution.
The redemption will be televised.
Yes.
Like Medina, I'm scared because Dawn said in that presser she's only scratching the surface, and like you kind of see it because it's like I don't think did Medina sweat?
No. Medina still looked like she was ready to play another half at the presser. She was.
Did you see the way Joyce was cheesing at her?
No, like, for real.
Joyce was looking at Medina like Meg looks at Asia. Like, that was crazy. That was crazy. Like, what?
No, seriously, I seen it.
Yeah,
to go
15
get it off the
rebounds.
board. Like
She don't play
she's
scared.
not-
She don't play scared. She don't play scared. Ain't
No,
no scared.
not at all.
Move them out the way. Come on, talk about it. And Medina run like a sprinter. Come on, y'all, talk about it.
Man,
honestly, this is the next. Look, I'm trying to
Mississippi
like not
State. Y'all had her sitting down there. What y'all do?
from as
That's
that
crazy.
Sam would say from Africa.
And they said she the strongest in the building, huh?
Yeah.
Man, listen.
And that's without a full year of body
Man, come on. Like, what?
yeah.
Oh my god.
Body by Benetti.
That's gross. Like that is
She showed up-
gross.
Wait, what's that say? Not scary hours is what?
Nightmares.
Man,
Hold
what?
up,
Nightmares
wait
out
a
here.
minute.
Nightmares
Y'all
out
thought I
here.
was finished.
What?
Let me start rapping dreams and nightmares. That's gonna be my song for Medina. Like that.
Okay. You know what mine was? I'm the biggest, the strongest, the largest.
baddest.
He said, hey, that was mine when I was over here thinking. I love it. Let's go.
She can deadlift 700 pounds.
Man,
She
what?
can deadlift 700
Man.
pounds. Whew. Joyce was like,
on,
and that's a good point, Reggie. That's why Joyce was looking like, oh my gosh, I'm so unlocked. I don't gotta play the 5 none. I just love you. I love you, Oko. Just do your thing, and I'm gonna be right here doing my thing at the 4.
True.
Tear them up.
Ashley Knuckles, I'm with you
Great
on that.
point. What Ashley say? I hope
About the NCAA
give her
giving her
season.
another. No,
Hey, let
really.
me tell you
No,
something.
based on this, they ain't gonna give her another season. They
Hell
gonna
no,
be
she
like,
not getting
hell
another
no.
season. Hell no. Ain't no way.
No,
Listen.
getting
The
another
NCAA,
season.
they made their decision yesterday. They was
Yesterday,
like,
they
give her
said,
this back with
Nope.
Ashlyn and Chloe and Kelsey
Oh
Andrews.
my
Hell
gosh.
no.
Oh my
Hell no.
I
She's
know.
not gonna
I
be
know
able
a
to come back.
couple. I know a couple ads. Vic probably called personally to the NCAA's office.
Hey,
he probably called Greg Sankey.
Vic was
wrote
calling
a little
like
note. A
Vic was
Cheryl
calling like
Reed's
he was
note
checking for
went
that
out
direct
last night.
deposit to hit. He just kept calling back and forth. Did it post? Did it post? Is they open? Is they open? I gotta tell somebody she can't go back there. Hey,
listen.
well, and
Yeah,
then
they
Kim
not
was
giving it
down.
to
Kim
her.
was down. Listen, Kim down at the NCAA office like the Mervis commercial. Open. So she can tell them, hey, ain't nowhere in the world y'all can let Dawn have Coat back. Do you know? Listen, they riding by da pa pa pa. They ain't even eat no ba da pa pa pas no more. Our grandkids can't have no ba da pa pa pas.
Wait, what did Don say? They don't like it.
Right.
Not everybody's loving it.
Right.
Loving it. Like they not giving her no eligibility. If this continues, hell
they
no.
Trying to figure out how to take Ashley here back. They was like, yeah, she done pulled one over on us. Foiled again. Foiled again. Damn it, Don. Damn it. Figure it out right now.
Last night on the timeline, I had non-South Carolina people being like, y'all let Don get. How did this happen? They were like, are you serious? I was like, damn. When you got other
y'all coaches walked through the same damn portal. Look what y'all came out with. Look what Don found over there in the corner. Y'all didn't want her.
But I heard we don't give people money. So you telling me someone who's not American chose South Carolina because we don't get money. So I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Man.
Medina is a breath of fresh air. When we think that, okay, basketball is trying to move away from the bigs and trying to just go, all right, we're going to go small ball. In comes Medina, like, hold on. No.
Did y'all see us go? Big? Oh gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
I
big have or that go next home. Year.
Ashley said Dawn found vibranium for Wakanda, but dead ass.
No, for real, what?
They gonna be flipping coins to see who's gonna box out Medina. Flip coin.
Nobody.
This might actually.
Nobody.
This might actually change Kenny. Kenny might actually start recruiting black girls if they look like this.
What?
He might.
Kenny better just try to keep being an asset to this conference. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Just keep being an asset to this conference. Okay. That's it. As Big Drip said. Now, anything else on Medina?
We could go I could go an hour on Medina. I don't. Right. There are no words. Flabbergasted. Gasted is flabbered. Like The one that encapsulates when I was just like, oh no, oh no. She took that rebound and looked up, started to be like, oh, I might pat. And they said, no, I'm just going to take it.
I had to ask, who was that? She was moving. I said, who is that? They said, that's Medina. I said, what?
Man.
Oh man, it's up and it's up when it's up and it's up. I told Mondo, send the trophy. I ain't even come to get that bitch no more. Send it to me. Send it to me, sir. Send it, Mondo. Send the trophy. Disrespectful, y'all. Disrespectful. Disrespectful. Now, if this wait a minute. I gotta get Denise Oliver. Thank you so much for the super chat, fam. The Baseline Brunch. It's your favorite Saturday place to be. I know. Let's go. So
shout out to you.
If Medina wasn't, Mondo was in here earlier. If Medina wasn't enough, oh gosh, you know, Sunday and it's just a Sunday and you gonna just get out, you put your nice clothes on and you just want to cruise in your Rolls Royce. Hey man, Rolls Royce, Joyce. I said nightmares, and I meant it. I meant it when I said nightmares. I'm gonna just tell y'all. I'm gonna say her stat line a couple times. Okay, just I want to. I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay,
say it slow. Say it slow.
Just tell me.
There you go.
Just tell me to stop. Just tell me don't say it no more. Okay. So 27 points, 9 to 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 7 to 8 from the free throw, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 3 steals, 26 minutes. 27 points, 9 to 13 from the field.
Oh my gosh.
2 of 2 from 3.
This does
7 of 8 free throw. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 3 steals in 26 minutes. She scored more points than minutes played.
Hey.
Yes.
Wow.
Not just 1 3, 2 threes. Listen, I don't know. She better listen. Joyce dropped some merch, and now she got to make a song. If Asia Wilson's on top, Joyce is on her way. Hey, listen, you hear what I'm saying? Okay, one more time. 27 points, 9 to 13 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3, 7 to 8 from free throw, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 foul, no turnovers, 1 block, 3 steals, and 26 minutes of work. And somebody was asking me, who is Joyce? She, her, goddammit, and I mean it. I'm gonna stop talking about Joyce now, because I say
no, you can keep going.
Let me say it again. Never mind, I ain't gonna say it again. What did y'all think about Joyce and how she's grown up? I got a question
before y'all go.
Go ahead.
And I know we here on this show, but didn't just recently you have a show where you were speaking about the SEC, whoever they had for the SEC Player of the Year? No, that was last year. That was
No. That's correct. Keep going.
Okay. But wait. Come on, wait. Hey, first of all, I wanted to say front and center to the man that you was having a show with, but come on now. You really telling me? I understand. Oh, it's an expedition game. It doesn't count. But you really telling me what you seen from that girl in that game? She's a sophomore? She's a sophomore. Okay.
Hey, she was also the cap. Look at me. I'm the captain now. She was also the captain of the USA team.
Man,
as the youngest on the team.
I don't know why.
He's all fairness. He gonna watch.
I'm about to tell y'all something that has nothing to do with this, and I don't know if this is what side of me that came out when this thought came in my head. Just to be honest with y'all, I'm just being so real and transparent right now. I was like, poor Lay.
We're not doing that. We're not using.
Poor
Keep it on Gamecocks. Keep it on current Gamecocks. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. Is that it? Okay. All right. I'll move on. I'll move back to Joyce because I refuse to acknowledge that. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. So back to Joyce. Meanwhile, back on the ranch. So
Okay.
yeah, right. What's crazy is when Joyce started the game, she was missing bunnies, missing this, missing that. And the irony is that, what did you say? She was 9 for 30. I know you read it like 7 times. What was that
No, that's
again?
okay. Happy to do it again. Happy to do it again.
Read it again
27
slower.
points, 9 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 7 of 8 from free throw, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 3 steals, 1 foul, 0 turnovers, and 26 minutes of work, plus minus of 57.
Yeah, great. Let's actually go down her stat line. So the 9 of 13. So I did hear that correctly. You only read it like 4 times, so I'm glad I remember something. The 9 of 13 included her missing bunnies at the beginning of the game. So again,
could have had a 30 ball.
She could have had a 30 ball, which, by the way, is a typical thing with Joyce last year. Like, there were a lot of times where we like, she could have more. Granted, that's a lot of people, but Joyce, what I'd like to first thing, Joyce is amazing. I'm super excited for her, and I'm reminded she's a sophomore, which means we get 2 more years of this plus this season. Oh my gosh, what a treat. Joyce is another one who didn't stop working from that presser. And she told us, I'm not feeling this again. I don't like this feeling. Joyce went to the gym, I swear, the next day. Joyce did 3-on-3. You could see 3-on-3 impacting now how she sees angles and things like that, which I actually think one of the coolest things about Joyce, she reminds me so much of Asia, not necessarily her game 1-for-1, but the fact that she played volleyball, she played soccer, that well-rounded athlete brings skill sets to the basketball court that they're just super unique. And so her conditioning from soccer, definitely, her angles, I think, could be another one. And then volleyball, I think what I like about Joyce is her understanding the assignment more this year than last year, which does. She was a freshman. But her rebounds, knowing the importance of rebounding and getting that locked in, and then defending, I think are 2 things that, like, as Joyce continues to mature, and even her side quests from this summer, you can see all that coming into her game. I think for Joyce, now that she's starting, which is again part of her maturation process, is I don't know if I'll call it nerves, but getting that, like, those easy bunnies, like shoring that up, that's part of it. But like, that's just a fundamental thing. Like, we got to shore some of that up. But I think she'll learn how to manage her nerves as she continues to mature. So I really love that aspect of it. And seeing how many she missed at the beginning and to finish 9 for 13, that means she had a streak where she wasn't missing.
And not only
let's
that,
go to her. Go ahead. I was going to go down the stat line, but go ahead.
No. I want to just jump in because you talked about the 3-on-3. One of the things she called out about her 3-on-3 play was you have to make a decision in 12 seconds.
Yep.
I have to feel the game, and you can see her feel the game, right?
Yeah.
That was what took that thinking out, that extra second of, do I go or do no? Not do something, and I think that helped. Go ahead with the next stat.
She also mentioned, while we're on that, like, one, you can tell Joyce really studies basketball, which I think is great. I think Dawn said this to us last year, that she had to like pry Joyce out of the gym. Like, she was almost like overdoing it. But you can tell, I think Joyce really has studied film in a different way, because not only that, she studied Asia. She, throughout this season, was one of the, when they would ask the girlies questions about what was going on in the W, Joyce actually was on the same tip as me. She was calling Asia was going to be MVP. About the same time I was calling Asia was going to be MVP. Joyce was serious about it. Joyce has been watching Asia, because I heard her say something in the presser that I thought was really, is a very much an Asia-ism. she mentioned she jumbled the words, but I knew what she was going. She was saying that she was letting the game come to her. And remember, that was what Asia said when she made that joke about forcing a fart and shit comes out. Asia's been saying that all season. Yeah, Asia said that. Chelsea looked at her like, girl. Asia said that in a presser. I forget after which game it was, but Asia talked about letting the game come to her more and not forcing things. And you can tell Joyce has been studying Asia or talking to Asia, either one. And so I love that's a blueprint for Joyce to follow. And Joyce has always been high on Asia. So that doesn't surprise me. Which is really back to your point, High Life, earlier of Joyce's 3 actually came when Asia walked and sat down. So I say that to say, like, the maturation of Joyce, what really excites me is she's such a student of life, but she's a student of the game. And I think the sooner that she understands angles and how people are guarding her and this and that, and we started to see it last year when they started doubling her in that CP tournament. It's coming. So I love that that she's getting there, and that she wasn't forcing things. Remind me, did she have assists?
There's that line again. What? Just 1 second.
Sure.
She had 3 assists.
Okay, I think it's fine. We don't need her. But as I continue to watch her game from now till senior year, hopefully we're seeing more assists. But I also could understand why that doesn't happen. So it would be something interesting to see and watch, because you can get that, but it's totally fine. Like not every assist. If you're rolling and you're wide open, I don't want you to pass the ball, right? So, but if she's getting doubled, I would want to see that assist number grow. Let's go for the 2 for 3 from 3. So what's actually interesting is the only 3 she missed was that buzzer beater at halftime.
No, they didn't count that. They gave her 2 from 3.
Oh, I forgot. That's the new stupid rule where at the end of games when the NBA rule. That's weird. That should have been 2 for 3. But okay. Anyway, 2 for 2 was.
They gotta appease the bettors commission.
That's true. Which, anyway, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm done. I think I covered all the stuff I wanted to about Joyce. The hustle plays, the intensity, that type of thing. I think we'll continue to see that grow. So I'm excited about Joyce.
Hey, I think Asia is just as fond of Joyce as Joyce is of Asia. Like, it looked like Asia was watching Joyce to see where she can help her get better. She was dialed in, especially on Joyce. So I looked like Asia was like, okay, this is who I'm handing the torch to. And that's what I believe. Brittany, High Life?
Joyce. There's just so many great things that you can say about her, and especially because she's only a sophomore.
Stronger, better. That's right. Every time we put it in there.
It's just like, whoa, when was the last time that we've seen a kid this young look this good? She definitely looks as though she's one of those ones who they're never satisfied with how they were last season. Always looking to get better every single year. And she's one who, when she's on the floor, your eyes just immediately go to her. Because her game is... I think her game is really loud.
I had to I'm sorry.
And that's crazy to say because she's a big. So it's like, whoa, like typically when you be like, oh, guards, their game's really loud with how quick they are up and down the floor or making really big shots, so on and so forth. But her game is really loud. And one thing that you can always hear, and that I love to hear during the broadcast, is hearing her talk. You hear her screaming and letting everybody know, letting all her guards know, hey, help over here, so on and so forth. And so the ceiling, where is the ceiling? There is no ceiling with Joyce. That's very much how it is. I can't see the ceiling. It's missing, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited to see what what else she's going to bring this season. I know towards the end of last season, there were some it was kind of frustrating for her because teams said, all right, yeah, we're going to bring the double. Yeah, she come off the bench, but yeah, we're sending the double. So I'm interested to see how, as the season goes and people start and the doubles start coming, I'm excited to see her work through that and then just show like, okay, if you want to bring the double, cool, but you bringing the double is gonna lead to a wide open three or a wide open shot for someone else.
And to that point, Brittany, I actually think that's what I was talking about is like, depending on how people play her, that assist number I hope goes up. Because can you imagine you choose the double Joyce, okay? Joyce, dump it down to Medina. So that's where I think that high-low game or that two-main game between her and Medina actually will improve because, like we were saying last year, so much Joyce slid to the 5, or who's her counterpart in the post last year? It's escaping me. Was it Chloe? Or
it was Chloe.
Okay. And they had decent high-low game. It took them some time, but they figured it out. But Chloe, Medina, those are two different different post players. So I actually am really excited for that. I mean, it's similar principles, but I think Joyce learned her and Medina, I think, working out their two-man game is going to be really key for that.
Absolutely. I just don't see, as an opposing coach, I don't see how you're going to let her go one-on-one. I personally wouldn't do it. Because
I wouldn't double.
It's just like, you're going to have to pick your poison.
Or you double and hope she turns it over. I mean,
yes,
right?
That would be the best bet.
Or you double not from the post, but I don't really know how evolved, some of these. You would need a double with a guard. But again, to your point, that will expose a three-point shooter, or, you double off the Ravens, man.
Because the other part is, if Joyce misses the first shot, Joyce is quick off the floor. So she's getting that second rebound. So like that's the second jump is crazy. So it's just like
that's that volleyball. I will say the volleyball players are very good at that on that second jump.
Yes, that second jump. So I'm like, all right. Like if you want to let her go one-on-one, okay. But 9 times out of 10, she's gonna eat your post down there. She's just gonna feed on them. Just gonna feed on them.
SC is crazy. Crazy scout on us. You're gonna have to pick your poison. I mean, we're going through all those players, but I kind of want to stay in this Gamecock vibe. We saw Asia go to the Hall of Fame. Statue, retired jersey, Hall of Fame. I mean, Asia is the motion right now in the W. Gamecock legend. I want to talk about how important Asia is off the court and some of the things that you guys like most off the court. You can talk some about the Hall of Fame as well, but let's talk Asia and just the importance of the eliteness of her off the court and what that means for players. Go ahead.
So a hot topic on the timeline recently was, and it's going to feed into your question, so just rock with me. A hot topic on the timeline was a discussion about Asia. To summarize it, Asia wasn't doing enough post Aces win. Some people felt like she wasn't striking when the iron's hot, and she should be on Good Morning America more, even though she was with that wig. Y'all forgetting the whole Monica thing, but I digress. But she should be on podcasts. She should be on this. She should be on Jennifer Hudson's show, which, by the way, she already was when she was a New York Times bestseller. But that had been a lot of the prevailing narrative recently. And the reason why I say all that stuff, or I want to bring that up in this discussion, is that to capitalize on off the court stuff, ideally, you are good at the shit that you get paid to do, right? Which means basketball. So we actually do at least need to, at least I want to start with saying what makes the opportunities available for Asia is because she makes the main thing, which is basketball. She's a great basketball player. She purposely takes time off to reset, recalibrate, all that stuff. We heard in her 1,000 point season last year, it's really hard being Asia Wilson. She said that to us. We all said, oh my gosh, reposted it. It went viral. But here we are a year removed, and we're not remembering that she said that. And that, to me, like, we always talk about mental health is the best wealth. Like, this was a hard year for her. You don't go 17 straight in a row. Everybody's saying Asia had a regression year. You got to bring Jewel into the fold. Jewel's having a tough year. You know, like, that leadership that is required to get that team where it was, it took a huge toll. So I think people are just being greedy, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, these are not Sims characters. These are human beings who are exhausting a lot of physical and mental energy and strength to make that happen, that I think even if she wants to take a month off, so be it. Also, we don't know what she's doing behind the scenes. She got that Lego stuff coming out, which I'm excited to see what that looks like. She just got off of a whole press tour of A1s, which are the A1s just won some award for Nike. And by the way, she has A2s coming out. She clearly has partnered with Nike for the new South Carolina sponsorship. Like, I think I just have a challenge with everything is not immediate. We can be intentional and strategic about what we do and still have impact. So I understand people want to see Asia more, but I think asking more of someone who's already been asked of a lot, I think we just need to, like, recognize that. And we all talk about the load that Black women carry. And I think to just ask her to be like a TikTok star, not that people are doing that, but like this instantaneous, like, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And I've seen people compare it to, like, well, Angel is on the Victoria fashion show. Angel didn't have a postseason. Like, no shade to Angel, but like, things are different. So what Asia chooses to concentrate on, and she just got inducted in the Hall of Fame. Her boyfriend's team is going through FBI investigations. Like, let's chill out and let's give some grace. And also, we don't know. She could have something planned behind the scenes. Look at A1s, like how long we didn't know what was going on. So say all that to say, as we get in this discussion, I at least wanted to, like, put that on Front Street, that, like, I think we need to be cognizant of what we're asking of people.
I think
I love that, but I'm not asking A to do nothing else, nothing more than what she's doing. See, here's the thing: they don't talk enough about what Asia does. That's why people keep looking for what Asia's. That's why people keep trying to come up with great ideas for something for Asia to do. Asia's doing a lot of stuff. Asia's doing what she want to do, and that's what I love about A. It's a great point that you make. Yeah, you might want her to be on TikTok, but she don't want to be on TikTok, and her brand ain't on TikTok, so she doesn't have to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she don't have to. But you look at the stuff that she does do. Look at her Palmetto 76ers, the Asia Wilson Palmetto 76ers, how she supports, how she goes back. She redid the park, the community center. She went home and she's always back home doing stuff. Like, the way that she does stuff is so intentional. And I think that's part also of, like, the Gamecock way. I don't know, because it seemed like Dawn does what she wanted to do too. People like, Dawn, do a podcast. She was like, no, that's so 17 years ago. I did that already. Dawn, write some articles. No, already did some. They're on the Athletic or whatever. Go back and look. They're out there. Like, they're culture shifters. So they're not doing. They're always on to the next. You always also kind of catching up with A to me. Like, that's so yesterday I did that, homie.
Remind me, Asia and Dawn were both on Forbes Women's Most Influential list. No.
Yeah, and they were also on, like, the cover of Women's Health, and they were like over. Yeah, I don't know where were they at? In the desert, doing all that stuff. Like, come on.
People are acting like we don't see Asia. No, we see Asia. That's the part that I find kind of crazy. She got a whole book. Like, She got a whole book, Dear Black Girls. Like, there's so much that
Not-
Asia gives us.
Not only do we see Asia, we see her boyfriend, we see her mom, we see her dad. Asia done gave us her whole life. Asia can't go nowhere. There go Asia boyfriend, there go Asia dad, there go Asia mom. What Asia doing? Where's Asia? Like, bro, let this woman be. It was Asia Day. People have talked about they had one-on-one experiences with Asia in Colombia. Like, Asia moves, but she moves in the circle she wants to move in. I think they trying to catch up with her, but I think I cut somebody off. My bad. Go ahead.
I think it was High Life or Brittany talking.
I think the people that are asking more from Asia are many of the people that want celebrities or athletes to appease them. And it's like, yeah, no, Asia does what Asia wants to do. If Asia wants to go and be a TikToker, she'll go be a TikToker. But Asia don't have to do nothing she don't want to do. Because Asia's done enough.
It's like the conversation. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you good.
I was going to say, it's like the conversation that also swirled up last season around Asia not doing Unrivaled. First thing.
Yeah.
Auntie, don't get me deep into this. I'm just make this statement about Unrivaled. Why would no player in the world needed to go to Unrivaled? Clearly, whatever she is doing, if she don't touch a basketball till a month before the season starts,
exactly,
who cares? Because somehow she comes back ready to play the entire season and carry a heavy load. I actually think as a society, less is more. We need to get back to less is more sometimes, because this overdoing, this burnout that we do, rest is important. And so to me, it's wild that you look at someone who's already had the success of the main thing is the main thing, basketball, and you can fix your mouth to say she's either running from smoke or she's not this or she's not that. Let it be. Everything is not for everyone. And I think the quicker we accept that in basketball, and that even goes back to like point guard roles and what roles people need to play on the court, like everybody does not have to look the same and everybody does not have to do the same thing. So that's just my bow on that one.
Right, AJ. There goes Sonny, Asia bodyguard. To your point, Commissioner, tell me another WNBA player you know they bodyguard name.
Let me tell you something. Asia Wilson and I've thought this for a while, and I think I've said it in the mansion before, but I'm not the only one. People have said it on Twitter too, so I'm gonna just make a blanket it. It's not just me uniquely saying this. Asia Wilson is Beyonce. Like before we knew Sonny's name and before Callie wrote that article on Sonny, people were calling him Julius and put the apostrophe after the J. Like, Asia Wilson is Beyonce. She shows up when she wants. She tells us what she wants. And that's her thing. And when you reach an upper echelon of you being so great at what you do, you can make decisions like that. And I wish people would just like let that be. Like, there's no other bodyguard of any player, of anybody. Like, literally the only equivalent I can think of is Julius with Beyonce.
But she not marketable. That's the silliest shit I've ever heard. She's not marketable. Let's get into it. So off the court, still one of my favorite things to see is Asia stop to take the time with young girls, especially young black girls. Still one of my favorite moments from the parade was seeing her stop. You guys saw the interaction she had with the young girls with the trophy?
Yep.
Intentional. I love, she's so, I don't know. I think nothing. I don't think that people understand that Asia is such a thinker, and everything is intentional. It's nothing coincidence about anything that happens with her brand, but I don't think that she gets enough credit for that. Right? Like, she's very intentional with how she moves. She's very intentional with who she partners with, how she delivers her message. And I think that's so important for young women, period. Frank Wright shared that allowed me to kind of get a bird's eye view into her, her giving the shoes there in Colombia. And I'm talking about for them to say that she's not marketable. There were young girls there of all shapes, sizes, colors, basketball skill set levels, potential. All they're happy just to get a part. Like I saw all kind of kids saying, "I can because Asia did." You know how important that is? I don't know. Can y'all talk about that a little bit? Like what she means to this next generation coming behind her, and how these kids look with these A1s on. I can't wait to see the A2.
I mean, we ain't even got to go far. Joyce said that when Joyce was a ball girl, she was staring at Asia. And representation matters. And it's funny, right? Because you said young girls, but I don't even think I'm older than Asia, and Asia inspires me. You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't even have to just be people younger than you. I think your impact can spread out in so many different ways. Yeah, I mean, Asia's definitely a special individual, a special person, and that's what frustrates me about all the conversation about Asia, whether it was calling her not marketable early, whether saying her choosing to come to South Carolina was going to be bad for her brand. And by the way, that's something she's still fighting today in the W, because she didn't choose a specific school. And that going to South Carolina was a horrible decision for her. And she is Big Bird. Right? Big Bird is really Raven, but top Gamecock, if you will, right? Like she changed the trajectory of University of South Carolina's basketball, how it's seen, how it's perceived, why people choose to come here, why they keep it on their top 3 or 5 potential, whether or not they choose to come or not, or whether they're using it for clout or whatever, like having that brand associated with it. And I think as we see, even with the new deal that South Carolina signed with Nike, like Asia's name is synonymous with the University of South Carolina and with the University of South Carolina's program, which is why I think she got in the Hall of Fame as quickly as she did. Like South Carolina is very traditional, you know. I think she was one of the youngest, if not the youngest, of the Hall of Fame class. She might have been like second youngest, but I mean, what she's done is truly amazing and has had impact on the whole university. So it's amazing, but I think Asia's impact and influence on the city of Columbia, I wonder if somebody will do an economic study, but like it's big.
Oh, absolutely. On the Palmetto State period, I think. I hope they'll do a study. But I want to put a little context around Asia off the court, right? Like she's got to take time off so that she can come back and do a regular job of being the best player in the world, okay? And then when she's not doing that, she's running the Asia Wilson Foundation, right, where she's providing resources to children and families affected by dyslexia and bullying. She's a best-selling author, right? New York Times best-selling author. She's an entrepreneur, so we have the burnt wax candle company. So get your it's holiday time, so spend your money, put your money where your mouth is here. Now she's selling luxury candles, other scented products inspired by her career. I don't know that y'all know that she does all of this, so I want to make sure that I share this stuff out so you know other ways that you can support. She's also a global brand ambassador. She's got endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, Mountain Dew. I think she's the first ever global ambassador of the junior WNBA, and she represents, I think, Chase Bank. She got the signature shoe, which is not just a signature shoe. She has a signature collection, which is different than just having a shoe. And I want to make sure, stop limiting the A1 to a shoe, and let's call it what it is, a collection. She's a community leader. 2024, she won the Dawn Staley Community Leadership Award. 2019, she got the WNBA Cares Community Assist Award. We got the statue. We got the Hall of Fame. We got the cover of Time magazine. We got Woman of the Year in 2024. Like, and then she still got to come home and take the meat out the freezer to make dinner. Like, and then support BAM. Like, do y'all understand everything that goes into Asia? And then y'all said, can she get on TikTok? Are y'all for real? She is doing more. She's doing more than some people did in their life, and she's not even 30 yet. And I think that's the other thing that really blows my mind. Like, age not 30. What the hell is she gonna do for the next 10 years? I got my seatbelt fastened, and I'm so excited to see where she goes next.
These same TikToks or podcasts y'all want her to sit on the same ones that saying she couldn't beat the worst man in the NBA. Like,
Right.
I'm
Talk about
confusion.
that.
Like, come on now, y'all. Like, maybe, and again, if there's anything we've learned from Asia, and I guess maybe people aren't used to sit and watching and observing people's behavior and who they are, it's that Asia moves with intention, and what she chooses to focus on is what she chooses to focus on. And by the way, that burnt wax candle is like a love between her and her mom. Her mom runs it.
Yeah, absolutely. You said now if Asia can help out our football team.
Look, that's
yeah,
a
you
whole
asking
nother.
too much, FM.
They need to take the money from them. Anyway, what was the next question? Oh, about her off the field, or just what was the question?
Just off the court, her thoughts, how important she is for the next generation coming behind her with the blueprint. Because I know people say Angel, right? But I think Angel is amplifying one portion of Asia's blueprint a little bit more than Asia did. But I think they're kind of I see people following Asia's blueprint, but I may be biased. Your thoughts?
I mean, whenever you're the best at something, or you're in the head of something, you are you're the de facto blueprint, right? But even so, it's funny, right? Ryan Howard, who did not go to University of South Carolina, contrary to popular opinion.
I can't tell. She's been there more times. She's been in Kentucky.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
And don't forget, he was assistant coach for the Florida Gators last year, not Kentucky. So, and I hope she wasn't there scouting us. I wanted to be like, Ryan, are you on the Florida staff this year?
Yeah, low key.
But I haven't heard anybody. I haven't seen yet, and I wonder if someone did. I hope someone did. I hope someone found a way to ask Ryan why she was there. I only say that because I venture to guess there was a podcast that I only was able to listen to half of, which reminds me I need to go back and finish, where Ryan basically said that Asia was an inspiration for her. She watches Asia, and that's her peer, or that's a peer in her league. I don't consider Ryan her peer, but you know what I'm saying? Someone who is actively competing with Asia is telling you in so many words that she looks up and is inspired by Asia. And so I think I'm interested to hear someone hopefully someone asked, and what the answer is for why Ryan was there. She's clearly friends with Asia and whatnot, but to me, I think there's something to it. She could have been there to support Pal coming back for the first time, but it's just too convenience, not the word, but it's like too interesting to me that Ryan was there. So I really do hope that comes out why she was there, and hopefully someone asks an intentional question and we get to see the answer. But that podcast where Ryan was like, whether people admit it or not, people are watching Asia in the league. Ryan told you what it was. So again, that shows you people watch Asia. They may not always congratulate her, but the eyes of the basketball world, and the women's basketball world in particular, are on Asia Wilson.
At all levels.
I just want to say this real quick. I'm sorry, Brittany, because I got to get up out of here real quick. Speaking of on all levels, there's pictures out of college women's volleyball team players that have on A1s. I love y'all. I gotta go. I'm about to be listening from behind the scenes, but volleyball players and A1s, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, I live.
And it was Ole Miss volleyball players too. I mean, I've seen others before, but the one I think Coach Yo.
Have a good day, fam.
I think the thing that makes Asia I don't necessarily know how I want to say it, but the thing that's so special about Asia is a girl from South Carolina, a Black girl from South Carolina, and she's so relatable. And the things that Asia does, she moves in a way that is very inspiring. And it seems as though the way in which she carries herself is something that is so transferable to the rest of us, and something that is encouraging for the rest of Black girls, especially when you hear people tell you, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we listen to Asia talk about how they said, oh, Asia couldn't do this, Asia couldn't do that, Asia couldn't sell these X amount of shoes, Asia can't, Asia won't go get this championship, Asia won't go get this MVP, and so on and so forth. So it's like, to see Asia be able to do these things, not only just on the basketball court, but to have all these successful businesses, and then to hold herself in such with such humility, because there's plenty of people that we hear about, like, oh yeah, they're successful, but they have a bad attitude. But we see Asian, it's just like, whoa, with how humble she is, and then how into the community, not only in just South Carolina, but also just the Black community. And she's one that's always just lets us know that, hey, it's okay to have your bad days. And I think it's just so inspirational, especially when I was reading her book. It's just like, oh yeah, look, Asia ain't no different from the rest of us. It's just Asia is just so blessed to be able to reach so many people through basketball.
I want to say shout out Mr. Roscoe and Miss Eva for raising such an empowered young lady, right? Like, Asia is truly unapologetically herself. From the, what did you say, trying to force a fart and shit come out, to what you got to say about Kai Copper, she that bitch, to embracing her pettiness, to being selfish about her self-care, and owning it in your face. No, I'm not doing that. I don't need to, but I don't want to, and I don't have to. And I can just say no without a reason. No, I'm not. And that's okay. To all of the other things that she is, her work ethic, her commitment to excellence, her commitment to the community. Every time you see, hey, they like, Asia, you know, you did this, you did that. It's just God, y'all. I'm just so blessed. I'm just so blessed. It's just God. I'm just so blessed. It's so refreshing to see. It's so refreshing to see. Like, Asia, I was sick of seeing it. Made me mad to see Asia crying at pressers last year. Right? Like, Asia gets up there and she's like, hey, this shit is hard. Like, I don't know, other people get up here and act like, man, this shit is hard. To be that comfortable in her skin, to be that vulnerable to the world, is so empowering, I think, to the next generation coming behind her. And I think we see that. I think we see that in the players that are coming behind her. I think, you know, Juju is doing it her way. Hidalgo doing it her way. Sarah Strong, Joyce Edwards doing it her way. Joyce, who even knew? We looked up and Joyce got a clothing line. Joyce ain't said nothing. I didn't even know, Joyce, when did you leave the gym to design this logo and everything? And the logo is fire. But I think she's also challenging, you know what I'm saying, and creating opportunities at the same time for these young women. So I'm inspired so much by Asia off the floor. I dare say maybe even more than the way that she inspires on the floor. And that's crazy, because she's your favorite player's favorite player.
I think, to me, to add to that, and what made, I've been going back, and I didn't pose this question, but we can chat it now. I was actually thinking, what was the better season for Asia? What, just individual?
That's a show by itself,
right? I know.
Let's talk about it.
Maybe that will be our discussion. Let's come back to it. But I've been chewing on this one a little bit, because in some way, the season she had last year, granted she didn't win the championship, but just the season she had last year, historic. Remember, less games, so it was still in the 40-point era. That was amazing. Unfortunately, it needed to happen because the rest of the team. But like, if you actually think about the season she had, crazy. And ironically, some of the reasons why people didn't vote her MVP is because she didn't supersede her 1,000-point season, which is just ridiculous to type out. But I digress. But I actually think this past season was her best season, and not just because of what she scored or anything. I think that leadership piece was so key to the turnaround. And like God knows, Asia had a million reasons to come to the presser and like blame her team, but every single time they did not win, she said it was on her. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Every time they won, it was the team. And even in the post game of the championship, someone asked the question, I think, Asia, what is greatness to you? And instead of Asia, which actually just like instead of Asia saying something about like individual greatness or whatever, one of her answers was about, I now define greatness as the people you're around. And I think that is just so exemplary of like who she is and why she's so great. I think that community aspect is so key to her. And you mentioned her parents, but we could also call out Grandma Hattie, right? I think either it was
Absolutely.
recently her birthday or her passing, because Asia had a couple posts about that, but didn't say it, but or maybe she was just thinking of her grandma.
Mhm.
And then of course Dawn, like Asia consistently calls Dawn, talks to Dawn, leans on Dawn, and her ability to call on, whether you want to call it ancestors or just the spiritual group of people around her to build her up, as well as her faith, I think is so inspiring too. So I think it's just a good indication of like we don't exist in a vacuum, even your greatness. Um, it's so dependent on the people in the community around you, which is why I think she feels so compelled to give back.
Not only that, and Brittany, let me say this, and I'll turn it over to you. I just want to add on that, like it was when she lost, it was on her. When they won, it was about them. And when you tried to come for one of her teammates, she put on her cape and blocked and took the hit. Oh no, Jewel's cool. Jewel's cool. She's still here. She's figured it out. It's all good. No, Kia, what she defends and rebounds because that's what we need her to do. You know what I mean? So that too, being able to just like, hey man, whatever it is, you come for me. You don't come for them. I'm the one.
And Dana,
When we win, it's about
Dana,
them. Dana too.
Dana,
Yeah, yeah,
Dana
yeah.
talked
Dana
about
too.
how important it was that when she came to the Aces, and Lord knows everything she endured last season at the Sky, that it was important that Asia said, I want you here. We believe in you. She talked about Dana being a battery pack. KB, even when KB eventually, her time was called, KB talked about how she sat with Asia, went through film, really talked about her, Asia, Chelsea, Jackie, like what they needed from her in that starting role. And KB, I gave K,
Don't forget Alyssa.
and
Don't
yeah,
forget
I'm
Alyssa.
not finished. I'm gonna call myself
Oh,
out.
okay.
So
Yeah.
KB wasn't someone I was captain for. I was, when I was doing my
Oh,
machinations of salary, KB was there. But I think it's an indication, which also ties the list too, of when you have someone with that greatness use their power for good to build someone else up. It really does wonders for the human psyche. And I think that is why this past season to me is Asia's greatest season to date.
well, I think this was the first season that we saw her um, grow in a different way, right? Before our eyes. Like she's back mid-season. That's what it is. This time it was different. And she had to take another step in her leadership, like you pointed out. Okay, this team isn't as close. Now, how do I build that chemistry? How do I get them together off the court? How do I do the off the court stuff so that we're locked in when we get on the court? So shout out to her. But Brittany, your thoughts?
I think similar to what you guys said. I think last season was probably more iconic. That'll be the season that all the casuals refer to, whatever. Just because of like, oh, look at the 1,000 points and da da da. Yeah, that'll be the one that they remember. But this one definitely seems as though it was the most. This was the toughest one for her, and I think it also is the one that's for the team. This one was all them because they, as a team, went through a lot. I think we saw all the ups and downs, And we went through the ups and downs with them in terms of, all right, watching them play on TV and being like, dang, all right, they suck. And us as fans being concerned, like, oh my gosh, like, is this the end? But so with that, I also think that this one will probably be the one that I'm just like, yeah, I'm never forgetting this one. This one is the one never forgetting. I'm never forgetting any of them. But this one is probably the one that is that feels so great to be able to say from a true fan's perspective, like, yeah, like, all right, yeah, y'all, your fave won an MVP. Okay, cool, whatever. But let me tell you about my fave. Went from like dead, we thought they was dead in the water, to Asia sending out that text message like, hey, if you wasn't embarrassed, don't show up. Sending out that text message, and then also just helping her players just through some of their toughest times. So Dana coming from Chicago and listening to all the stuff that people were saying, Alyssa, everything that people were saying. And another thing is Jewel, Chelsea. People were talking about Chelsea at one point. At one point, I was concerned about Chelsea. But so to be there and to be that anchor for every single one of them, and then also them being able to give back to her, is one thing that is so great about not only Asia, but also that team and how much of a family they truly are.
Yeah, they definitely became a family. Like, we saw them go through all the phases of group forming right before our eyes. Like, she did this all in real time. And we don't even talk about like the pieces that came in and went out. Like, at the beginning of this season, like Kitley was there and Deja Kelly, and she started out with a whole different cast of characters. And then even through it all, right, 53-point loss, probably one of the most embarrassing losses in her career, to then go on that historic run. Just says a lot about who she is. And that's why I said, like, this is greatness. This is greatness beyond what we're used to seeing. And I hope people are really enjoying it. A is another one, man. We gonna miss A when she's gone. And I don't know that A is gonna be around here like just for 20 years in for a season. I don't know if A locked in like that. She did a lot before 30. You know, you the MVP every other year. I don't know. Go ahead.
I want to add two things based on just our conversation that I think are important to highlight. Lists. So here's the funny thing. People want Asia on more podcasts, but I actually think we're getting to learn more about Asia through everybody else being on a podcast.
Absolutely.
Chelsea, Jackie, Liz, I think. And Dana did like a quick one, but it wasn't that long. And Dana clearly had. Also, shout out to Dana, her knee being messed up, and she did what she did. Shout out to the whole training staff. But Liz specifically that I want to talk about. Liz was on a podcast recently, and I think I can't remember who it was with, but nonetheless, they asked Liz about her relationship with Asia prior to being traded. And she was like, yeah, I mean, like, Asia's, but we didn't have a relationship. Honestly, the first time we really talked is that viral clip y'all saw in the preseason where Asia was giving me tips. Like, think about that. Asia was so selfless and saw that, like, hey, you need some tips. Let me give you some tips. Like, we see Tina Charles doing that. And Tina is like seen as, thank you with Lisa Leslie. Tina Charles is doing that kind of as her like give back, pay it forward, I'm the wily vet type of thing. Like, how often do we see someone doing that and investing and pouring into someone live at the peak of their powers, if you will? And I still think Asia's like a year away from like true prime. That's crazy. But like, I think again, it showcases and demonstrates like who she is as a person and like her servant leadership mentality. And not everyone has that. And I think that's so great. Like, that was actually surprising for me to hear. And then now you like think about everything that Liz said when the MVP roses and notes were given out. Like, thanks for making me love basketball again. like, thank you for, you know, believing in me. Like, that type of stuff is like so powerful. That's the stuff they like write books about. Like, and so I hate it that like people are so quick to undermine Asia when the stuff that she's doing are the things that build people up. And then Dana has her own stories and stuff like that. And then even her boyfriend. Now that's the one I think people need to be talking about more. And it's funny because while I still hate them always like trying to tie like, oh, you know, people have been joking like, oh, Asia got better once she started dating Bam and she got to practice against him, which like it's helpful to practice against someone who's as tall as you and stronger than you for you to figure stuff out. But Bam has actually been talking about how Asia has helped him with his leadership. And Lord knows, again, the Heat, as of 24 hours ago, going through way more trials and tribulations as a team than before. And by the way, he was already captain of the Heat. And he's talked about how he watched, because Bam basically did a side quest with the Aces. Remember when we said, you know, can he suit up? They put that pink wig on him and everything. Like, Bam has been watching Asia be a leader with her team. And so even he's talked about how she would bounce ideas off of her because that's what a partnership is, but he was watching how she was leading and he's even internalized that with his team. And I actually think that's something like, as much as we like to compare or overshoot people to the NBA, that I actually wish people would talk more about how, one, there's reciprocity on both sides and being a leader, and like there's things NBA players can learn from WNBA players as well. And so I think even just hearing Bam talk about it, I think is just something that's really powerful, that just shows, one, clearly Bam respects her, which I appreciate and I think is beautiful, but that there are lessons learned in leadership that don't always have to come from one set place. Like, you can learn leadership and humility and all those things from so many people around you. So she's even inspiring Bam, is my point.
And shout out to Bam for being a grown man and being able to sit down and say those things and share those things and hold his woman's bag and do all of those things that a man is or a partner is supposed to do in a relationship. Because I'm hearing so much just weak stuff. I'm hearing too much weak stuff, man. Shout out to Bam, man, for being open and sharing. And I love the way that he loves on her. I love the way that he shows up for her. Like, I don't do the relationship goals type thing because I don't know what their relationship is like in private, but they show up in public the way a couple is supposed to show up in public, right? Like, I don't know if it's anything going on between them. We probably never would because of the way that they show up in public. So I hope that they keep it like that. And I hope that he just continues to talk about it and be open. I love the way that he supports and loves on her publicly. Becky said Asia lets her coach her hard. You see, Becky is also, like you talked about Dawn, her grandmother. Becky and Asia have a very special relationship, even though I hadn't given Becky a lot of credit as a coach, especially for X's and O's. But Becky is more kind of, I guess, like a Zen master kind of thing. Because Becky went to talking, and all of a sudden everybody started crying. I was like, "Whoa, Becky, what did you do?"
I do think Becky's. I would be interested, just because they weren't talking this way early with Becky, and I wonder if Becky's also, she's growing as a human and she's growing as a coach too, right? When because when she came in, you remember the whole viral clip with what was it? I Got Time Today with Asia and Sid, and it was like Becky coming.
Here come Becky.
Yeah, here come Becky. Whatever. Yeah, like, I think the vibe of Becky has also shifted too, right? And so I think Becky's also shifting as a person. And not to say she wasn't doing these things before, but I think as you get more settled and with all the leadership changes that happened on her staff, she also had to change too. She also had to take a different leadership mindset with this team than prior teams.
We went from here come Becky to Becky dancing on stage at the party, remember? Like,
well, Becky's always gotten turned at the parade. Don't forget that. She did that the first time too. the second time, what she say? Because I'm an old bitch and just like started cussing. You know, like
Yeah.
Becky lets her hair down with them. And the Tootsie
Oh,
Roll
yeah.
is iconic. But I do think like how Becky needed to treat this team, and let's just call
Same
it
with
spade a
Drip.
spade. Yeah.
Same
And that's
with
what I was
Drip.
gonna say.
Absolutely.
I actually think that's why Becky and Dawn, which is funny that I've been surprised how much Becky has emphasized, oh, like it's really unique for a superstar to let you coach them. I was like, do you know where she came from? Like Dawn wasn't not gonna coach Asia. Like that's why they came to blows, is because Dawn was coaching Asia. And they both
But-
had to adjust, right? So it's not that. I think that's part of
But
your
it's like,
evolution of leadership.
but where does that statement come from? What superstar did you coach as a head coach before now? This has
Who?
been your experience as a head coach, Becky.
Well, she was in the NBA, and I think this is where the intersection at
Okay, well, I can
but
see that
you
in
know,
the NBA. I just
yeah,
okay, I get it. If that's the comparison, I got you.
yeah. She came straight from the NBA. Ironically, she came from the Spurs, where
I thought Tim
historically
Duncan was a superstar that was very coachable.
he was. That I mean, Pop cussed them all out in front of all of us. So
Of course.
I was surprised, but clearly, I think the identity of Becky, I think because she was on the staff for what, 8 years or something like that. But I'm sure over time she got there. But this is part of the reason why there are no women coaches in the NBA, because there is still misogyny still exists. People still don't want to hear women tell them what to do. The same conversation that half these podcasters get up there and say, the women shouldn't, the W doesn't turn a profit, so they shouldn't get paid more, when that's actually not the conversation. So there's a lot of NBA players, historic, former, whatever, who have come out and said a lot of BS in not well-informed takes in podcast mics. So if they exist or they were recent players, like, you know, it's pervasive maybe isn't the word, but it still exists in the locker room. So I think that's something that, as we talk about.
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name names, but and all of a sudden now he supports women's sports. Now he has sisters. He has a mother. That's my favorite. Like, whenever people want to support women, this whole girl dad thing, whatever. Like, oh, I have a mother. I have a sister. Okay, and like,
Don't we all?
don't we all? Unless you were test tube baby, like you, everybody got a mother.
Literally. Whether you like them or not, that's a different conversation.
Like, that's the way physics and anatomy work. Like, we all got mothers. Like, you know what I mean? Or 99% of us have mothers. Like, okay, and that's why this whole like girl dad thing don't move me, but that's a separate conversation.
And the crazy part is, with that movement, I'd be like, dang, I said, that's crazy. But you used to treat somebody's daughter real crappy, sir.
Okay.
But you
I
want
want to say this.
your daughter like a darling? Just remember that.
Okay. I want to say this too. Yeah. Because I don't know, I just feel like I need to. All of these things today that we just talked about Asia are the exact reasons why Nafisa is not on her level. Right? Like these are
going there. Oh,
why?
God. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Do it.
And then it's
just,
like,
you know.
I mean, I'm just saying, because they're also everybody's so quick to be like, yo, and then like Nafisa's the next Asia. She's not. Like, she's not, and that's not a knock on Nafisa. Nafisa is the next Nafisa, and what Nafisa is doing is fucking outstanding. But she's doing it in a totally different lane. And let's clap her up for that, and support her in that, and call those things out. And not try to make it equal to what Asia's doing, because they're both having impact, and they're both shifting culture, but they're doing it in two very different ways. And that's okay. Two things can be true. When Nafisa's done with Unrivaled and building equity and calling out the commissioner and standing on business and putting her name and her face on it, like Dawn said, that's big. I love that for Nafisa. Those are the things that I call Nafisa out for. Creating equity, being the change that you want to see, right? I love all of those things, but that doesn't make you on the same level as a 4-time MVP.
Cess, for them to believe that two things can be
What-
true at once. It requires them to turn it on. It requires them to turn the brain on.
Well, they gotta cut it on around here then. Just cut it on. Pay these bills. Okay,
I don't
Commish, because you said I went there. What'd I do?
No. I think that's fair. Let Brittany go ahead and finish, and then I'll.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
don't know why people just can't be okay with having two women be great in their own respective way. Fee is Fee. Asia is Asia. Fee, there doesn't need to be a conversation of, oh yeah, Fee's on Asia's level. Fee's on Fee's level. That's the level Fee's on. And that's okay.
She rocking the shit out of her level.
Literally.
Yeah,
She crumpled that paper up. You hear me? She rocking the shit out of her level. Go ahead.
I agree. I wasn't sure where you were going, so this works.
Oh yeah.
The challenge I have is we live in a time and a place where we want to crown people before they show us. Exhibit A.
Oh.
That all-time collegiate thing.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
we're going
not.
here.
And if
We're
you
going
know,
here?
you know. No,
All right.
if you know, you know. You can fill in the blanks. If
Okay.
your brain is on and it's working, you'll know what I'm talking about. We need to stop, and you say this all the time, Auntie. We need to stop letting, well, let me not say it that way because that's going to sound more like I'm making a dig. I have a problem with putting people on the level of people when their stats, their accolades do not equate.
Crowning them before they earn it.
Correct. Let's use that one because I was going to use another one, but that was going to send us down a rabbit hole. That is
been like, she's not a. Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
So let's talk about correctly assessing people where they are and correctly assessing what you see. My biggest issue this whole season was how you call someone MVP and you have not won an MVP. That cannot happen. You cannot put someone on an all-time collegiate W player list and you have not won a championship. You can get second team because Don was on second team, which we can have arguments about that. I'm cool with it, but like first place are for people who win and who get championships. That is where first place belongs. We don't be given this whole participation trophy era that we now in, and I grew up in, I guess, in some capacity. But I have a problem with putting people in rooms, in the halls, if you will, of Hall of Fame when they have not won or they have not deserved it. So you got to show. I'm Missouri. Show me. You got to show me first. The show me state. You gotta put your when Asia's new advertisements come out this next season. Carfax, she won it twice, she won it thrice, she won it whatever, quattro, whatever the new word is. My vocabulary.
Cuatro.
Yeah.
Cuatros.
Yeah, I don't even know what the tertiary. I don't know. My vocabulary isn't that evolved. I should probably look it up. Whatever the word is for fourth that comes after thrice. Somebody got in the chat. Let me know. That is what we're talking about. I have never heard anybody call someone MVP and you have not won the MVP. Now, you can be an MVP candidate, but you are not MVP till you win MVP. And the problem I have, which is actually where this all kind of circles back to, is this anti-Dawn, anti-South Carolina rhetoric that Asia has found herself. Ooh, my headphones.
Mish, it be giving anti-black.
It is giving anti-black. Sorry, my headphones are dying. 1 second, let me fix this. Just like it's.
While Commish does that, KB, I'm not ignoring the super chats, fam. Thank you for the support. Giving crowns to people who don't even fit the gown. I love it. Love that FA. Really hope Bam don't fumble her. Commish, just let me know when you back. Yeah, Quattro, Millie Thompson, what's happening?
But keep giving your people. It's okay. Keep shouting at Bam. I struggle with John, who is the least problematic coach, one of the least problematic coaches out there. What's the worst allegation we've heard attached to Dawn's name? She's jealous of people? Okay, interesting. Dawn has been in the game for so long, and for there never to have been a scandal really attached to her, and you're in the Black community and you wake up every morning and disparage this woman is disgusting. It gives self-hatred if we're really going to keep it 100. It is actually asinine for you to wake up and your whole thing is to hate on Dawn Michelle Staley. I do not understand how you look yourself in the mirror. That is crazy. And that's not even on like, oh, I'm in South Carolina or I'm not. Like, that is actually a problem within our community. You wake up every day and you want to talk shit about someone who has done nothing. Every day we hear new allegations of certain schools, certain institutions not taking care of their players, letting some really shady, questionable things happen under their purview, under their leadership. And you're going to come on
Let's go.
And shit on Dawn. Like, you have to hate there's no other word for it. Like, the self-hatred is disgusting. And so for me, why I feel bad for Asia, or we all are up here talking, why we're talking about the excellence of Asia, is Asia never called her, or never put herself in the position to do that. Asia never told you she was going to be the GOAT years ago. All she said is, I want to keep winning and I want my name in the history books if you talk about the best players of all time of the W. What's wrong with that?
I want you to talk about me. That's what you play for.
There. That's all she said. And the fee thing is a little difficult because I don't want it to come, and I think you guys made the right point. I don't want it to come across like I'm hating on feet. I'm not. I just want you to crown the people who have actually demonstrated the crown. And in a sport where only one person wins, and this participation, nice, nasty, that's really disguised as hatred for Dawn in South Carolina, and Asia gets swept up in that, that's the problem I have. And so it looks like I'm hating on Fee or anybody else. And it's like, no, because for so long they were trying to tell us Asia was never going to be on the level of Stewie. And for people who don't remember or misremember, or their recollection's not that great, when Asia was the number one pick, that same season, Jay Billis came out and said Gabby Williams was going to be should have been the number one pick in his mind. And here we are years later, and that's not to disparage Gabby, because there were a couple years she didn't play in the W, and we all know
Gabby had a Chicago child.
And I was going to say, surviving Chicago Sky, right? That's also where I was going with it.
You need to put it in the book for me.
This isn't disparaging Gabby, but what I'm saying is there is, and I know we live in a society where we can't call a thing a thing. There is bias. And usually when there's bias, race gets wrapped into that. These things don't operate in a vacuum. And for people to say that does not exist, you're just not being serious. And I can't have a conversation with you. But like, you need to recognize when people come out and constantly hate, this is part of we're operating within this space. And so it's really frustrating, which is why a lot of South Carolina fans, I think, come up and talk about this, and then why the fan wars happen on Twitter and stuff like that, whatever. But like, to say that it's just on one side or not, no, like, it's happening within the construct of what's going on in the world. And we've been here long enough to see this happen, and we're not that far removed from this happening. And so I just want to call that out, because it's not Fee's fault that people called her MVP, but you're also operating within the system that is calling you MVP before you've earned MVP. And so people are allowed to call that out too. So
I have a question. Here's the thing. I guess for me, I not understand. No, I never saw Nafisa Collier come to the stage and be like, "Hey, I'm MVP now," right?
I don't think she ever did, but her husband has had some things to say on the internet, and not that her teammates shouldn't, but Courtney and I think on Stud Buds they were calling her MVP at some point.
So okay, here's my thing. I think what I would have rather heard is like when they asked Joyce about the WNBA, and she was like, "Hey, I can't talk to you about that yet. I got still work to do right here. Like, yo, like not MVP yet. Like on my way, or that's what I'm striving for. Or hold off on that, y'all. It's like I don't know. Don't let them put that jacket on you. There's a way to just be like, hey, y'all, I'm not that yet. Or I appreciate that, but I'm still working on it. Like, the acknowledgement. But I guess she's in a weird spot too. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just weird for me. Like, I'm gonna tell you I'm still working on something if it ain't that. Cheryl, you think crowned her MVP? Oh well. Okay. There's that. Thursday insulting Don to defend that. Oh, to defend. We talking about on my platform. A lot of people hating because it's a cool thing to do too. A lot of group thinkers in the world nowadays. Yeah, that too. They jump on narratives.
I don't even think. Well, never mind. That's going. Never mind.
Yeah, come on. No, we started. We here. Let's go. We here for the conversation.
I hear Malik. It is partially groupthink, but it's also how would I say it? It's also I think there's just people who just hate their maybe it's just anti-blackness. Maybe that's the best way to summarize it. Which also looks at, which also sometimes is groupthink, because the bias is not, anti-blackness is a global thing. It's not just an American thing. It's a global thing. And so I think but that's where I get frustrated, because those of us who identify as Black, I would hope, would be cognizant of that and be aware of that and would be intentional with how we talk and communicate, knowing that that's the world we live in. And so, for example, I think someone brought it up, like, when you had to escort someone out of one of these discussions, for you to parrot dog whistle terminology that's used against Black women and Black people is the problem. And furthermore, we saw that take us back a couple years ago when we lost in the Final Four to Iowa, which is part of the problem, where someone had to share with Don what was being said when Lisa Bluter got out there. Yeah, I'm going to call her name because she needs to be called out. When Lisa Bluter got up there and said playing against South Carolina ahead of time is like a bar fight, why would you use those words? Why would you use that terminology? And no one called her out on it. It's problematic, right? And I think it needs to be called out more. And I wish the media, well, the traditional media, because I think platforms like this, which is why I was drawn here, or at least are willing to have the conversation. But like we need to be able to call things out, because that is problematic behavior. That is problematic. And no one can tell me that didn't bleed into exactly what we talked about at the beginning of this, how Aaliyah Boston was therefore refereed during the context of that game. These things don't exist in vacuums. You don't just say these things and they don't go anywhere. They seek into the psyche of people, and it comes out through their actions. So I get frustrated when people are like, oh, you just make things about race. Well, race doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists how we move through the world. And maybe something as innocuous as basketball, sure, but like it still shows up in actions and behaviors.
I also don't think that people own unconscious bias, right? Like, I just don't think that they own that there are unconscious biases that you have, and some of these terminologies and some of these things just seep right into that, trigger things that you don't even know. You don't even know. And I think that we're in the conversation now, so I'm gonna just say this. I think that there's a lot of work to do around refereeing to remove the unconscious bias, to give some real training, to get some problem. Go ahead.
I said, Kathy says it's not a problem.
Kathy don't think half the stuff in the league.
It's gonna be dinner time when we start talking about Kathy. Look, Kathy. See, you could have just stopped at Kathy don't think, But before I'm not gonna go to the Kathy part. I want to ask this question here. Do you feel like the anti-Don black woman slander started with Gino, with his back of the bus Asian statue thug ball comments? Do you think it started there, or was it before?
Oh God, that's so hard.
Thanks for the super chat, KB. But let's talk about that. Did
I don't think
Gino
it
start
started
this?
there. I think he gave them validation as to why those feelings may be correct.
Did he say what they was thinking?
Probably, yeah. He just encouraged it. You empowered it when you gave it a voice, and you didn't need to at all.
Because he's Gino? You think he gave it more of a voice?
Yes, he's Gino, and he's a white man.
Yep. And I think I compare and contrast Gino. So I'll clearly the two giants of, which is so funny what I'm about to say, but the two giants of women's basketball right now, especially from a coaching perspective, are Gino and Don, and they both exist in collegiate sports, right? So even Gino was, I can't remember if they asked him about officiating before Nafisa got hurt or it was during that hot time. But nevertheless, Gino does get asked questions. Gino gets opportunities too, right? He invested in Unrivaled, so did Don. So I mean, let's be honest, they're the giants, the titans of women's basketball. And you just see how Don gets asked questions. Let's even go to the SEC Media Day. Don's first question, what was it again? Was the first question about Kenny and the assets, or was there a different question that she got asked? Nevertheless, the first question
wasn't it about
about NIL?
Oh, it might have been about NIL. I thought
it doesn't matter. Her first few questions were never about South Carolina.
Nothing was about us.
Yeah. So Don gets asked questions, and then even the same bar fight Iowa time, right? One of the questions he got asked was about transgender girls being allowed to play. Don gets asked the questions that no one else gets asked, right? And y'all keep people tell me that Kim Mulkey's a great coach. Why she don't get asked these questions? The same Iowa press conference that happened, then Lisa Bluter came in and no one asked her the same question. Outkick Coverage did that. And they left after they asked Don that question, but never asked Lisa Bluter. You see how not only women, but Black women get asked questions that other people don't get asked. And then you tell me they're not leaders. They're not the movers and shakers of the culture. They're not the tastemakers. So I'm confused. Why ask those questions if that person's not that important?
Exactly, because it's like y'all didn't care about anybody else's opinion on it.
Yeah,
you didn't care them for theirs.
Oh, it was about the Knicks. I just remembered. It's about the Knicks. It was about women being a coach in the see how we just had like 4 or 5 different things they asked Don during SEC Media Day. And then that immediately became an alert. I got hit with a notification from ESPN. Someone wrote a whole article about it within the time we were watching her press conference. So to me, it's interesting. And then again, this intersectionality that people pretend doesn't exist or only pretends it exists in one capacity, but don't realize how it can cross over depending on the situation. And it's a matrix. Other people don't get asked that question. Why didn't someone ask Kim that question? Why didn't they ask every woman who's an SEC coach that question? Because actually, if anything, I would actually argue that actually should be the next place that W teams are tapping for, because 1, they're used to the talent, 2, they've competed at a high level, and there's a high concentration of women in the SEC. Now, I can't really tell you right now off the top of my head if it's higher than any other conference, but there's a high concentration of women in the SEC who are coaches. But yet somehow they don't get asked the same question, but only Don gets asked the question. So
what do you think about what Theo is saying, that Kim has a limited filter, so she would probably get suspended for answering her true opinion? Do you think that they don't ask them those questions because they're not interested?
Yeah,
in their answer.
I don't understand that one, Theo. It might be a tug and there's a LOL after it, so it might be a laugh trolling jab conversation.
Yeah.
But there's no way because so Don,
No, but I'm asking. I see the LOL, but I'm asking. I wanted to know, like, do you think that they're just like, man, she's not gonna say nothing interesting anyway, or it's gonna be so wild and off
first
base?
thing,
Like,
Kim says hella interesting things. I think she should be getting asked more questions.
So, okay, tell me a question that Kim should be asked that they haven't asked her.
What about the women coaches in the NBA?
Oh, okay.
Why are or we don't even have to go to the NBA. Sorry. Let's just take a whole step back. Kim, you've been in this league a long time, or you've been around women's sports the whole time. By the way, she the old dinosaur. So why aren't they asking her questions about I said it. What is the pathway for women to be coaches in the W, and why are there so many male coaches as compared to women's coaches in the W? What's happening? What's your assessment? What have you seen? You've been a coach a very long time in the NCAA. Have you ever considered to be a women's coach in the WNBA? What would it take?
Well, Commissioner, my job right now is just to win games here at LSU. So I'm counting on just winning games here at LSU. You know, we got these gals ready, and we're gonna get them together. And yeah, you know, as long as you're in my top 8. Play
We're all gonna play 8 rotations. Don't matter.
I don't know. But and Theo, you know, I get you. Yeah, just saying, Kim would just say what she think and not be politically correct. Kim answer would not be professional, and it might not spark conversation either, right? I think Dawn sparked conversation. So not getting asked those questions Theo, is white privilege.
I guess what I'm trying to say, yeah, exactly. And what I'm trying to say is, regardless of political correctness or not, that don't stop people from asking people questions. So Annie Constable just asked AZ Fudd about the CBA, and the girl not even in.
Well, I don't even know who asked Stewie the question, but they was like, "Hey, Stewie, what you think about your boss not being your boss next year?"
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that'll stop
her boss sitting right next to her. Yeah, no, I got you, Theo. I know you agree with us, but I thought that I wanted to take that to just the thought of that, like Kim, Vic. Like if I had them in a room, you know, like like who's the most? Would I really want to ask them those questions? Would I really be interested in their answers? Is what I'm saying. That Dawn actually answers the questions, and then she gives you something that I like things that make you go I remember that things that make you go Yeah, I like those type of answers. I don't think that Kim or Vic would give us that, but I also agree that it's the privilege. They're not going to put them in that situation to ask those questions, but they're always looking for an opportunity to try to trip Dawn up to get this soundbite. But the thing that I don't think they remember is, wasn't Dawn a communications major? So, like,
actually, I think she could remember her major, but that sounds about right. She told us in the book.
So that means I got a homegirl that's a communications major. She could talk to a rock. You'll never trip her up. You hear me? You're not going to trip her up. You're not going to get the soundbite that you're looking for. Dawn is very intentional with her words. Like, words matter. That soundbite that y'all looking for, it ain't coming. It ain't coming. Like, who was that? What was that question they asked her? She was like, "Where you from again?"
Oh, acclimate.
I think he asked him.
Can you explain acclimate?
Yeah, acclimate. Well, acclimate. What that mean? Acclimate. It mean to acclimate. And where you from again? I don't think I heard their voice in the press in a media opportunity since.
All the other fun note. My favorite part about that is everybody else dry snitching on the man. Like, oh, he from WW.
He from
Charleston.
He's filling in for so and so.
Filling in for John.
Yeah, they do. They hope she'll fumble her answers, and she doesn't. She's not gonna fumble. I guess I just think Kim would be smart ass, and Dawn, of course, will give great reply and answer. Oh, absolutely.
But again, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know why we just go through life thinking like things just exist in bubble gum drops and Sugarland and da 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 da. Like, we gotta sit here and be inquisitive and like, why is Dawn getting, like, even just the innocence of just, why is Dawn getting asked these questions, but no one else was?
Do you think it's because Dawn doesn't complain, so people just think it's normal?
Dawn does complain.
Does she complain in a way that most people would get it, or like we get it. Like her facial expression told me from the beginning, like, oh, this finna be some fuck shit right here. Don
was like the only
growing
coach that came out and didn't have a preamble before she started speaking. Like,
and then
Don
and
came
then
out
and
in a
then
sweatshirt saying beyond measure.
and then the coaches after that didn't do speeches, the preamble before, but everybody before her did a preamble. Don came out and was like, yeah, go. What? I got stuff to do. What's the question?
I think it has more to say. It's more to say about how they let some of these other coaches off with saying whatever, not even answering the questions, and like Kim just being relatively kind of rude in the way in which she answered the question.
Yep. I like that FM. They forced Dawn to try to make political statements, even when she's declined to answer that question. Like they try to come back and still get her opinion in a sneaky way. Like she don't know that that's what they're trying to do. Weird energy. Weird energy, and then it spills over into how her players are handled. Asia and judged, I think. I don't know.
Aaliyah Boston too. Aaliyah's not immune. I think that's the thing that also another rabbit hole that infuriates me about. Sure, I didn't love some of the stuff Aaliyah did this season, but I could compile a list of everybody in the W. Nobody was perfect, including AT, including JJ, who had a tantrum. No one is perfect in the W. There's high competition. Things happen. But for people to single out Aaliyah Boston, again, this is part of the anti-South Carolina train, and you can't convince me otherwise. And for people to hop on it, it's just frustrating. Aaliyah doesn't have to be your favorite player, but when we hop on some of this stuff, let's maybe use our brain, turn it on, as Brittany would say, and ask like, who is pushing this narrative and why are they pushing it? And should I really be part of this? Because these things don't happen in a vacuum. This is the same Aaliyah Boston that every single time they showed South Carolina, they showed her crying after she missed the shot against Stanford. They showed her crying after they lost to Iowa her senior year. And then from then on, everybody covers their head so that they're not constantly paraded for the next season, crying every single time they show highlights of them or the tournament.
They showed her crying after we won when she wasn't there. Come on. There's nothing diabolical about this kid.
Yeah.
There's something about it's weird. It's weird.
I think some of these conversations, like the whole AB, the South Carolina, I think some of these conversations happen because we allow the anti-intellectuals to be the loudest ones in the room.
Correct.
I don't enough people that just be throwing tomatoes at them saying, shut up, stop. No, we don't want to hear it. What you're saying is crazy. You make no sense. Go crack open a book.
Or we don't show counters. We just like jump on it sometimes. And it's like,
yes.
Again, I can give you multiple examples of JJ playing dirty in the paint. I can give you multiple examples of give me anybody, really, quite frankly. Like I can give you multiple examples. And the paint is not a place where if you don't have your weight up, don't go in that paint.
Don't go in there, buddy. It's the land of the big.
Like the rest of this free-flowing shit we might be doing, but in that paint, oh my God.
And I will say, I also do think some of those conversations are also rage bait.
Correct.
Where it's just like, yeah, I'm not giving it any energy. That should be the response. Like, yeah, no, not giving it any energy because it's not going to get anywhere. Because that person just really wants to get the clicks and views. That's all they want.
Clicks and views. That's why I say your social media currency matters, man. Spend it wisely. Spend it wisely. Special whistle. Special whistle. That's a term that I've been hearing here. South Carolina get a special whistle. Asia get a special whistle. That is the most weirdest narrative energy that I get, especially with Asia. Because I can still probably count 12 times Asia gets hit that they don't call it in a game. Well, am I exaggerating? If I am, tell me.
If you ask Rebecca Lobo, it takes her till the fourth time to see a replay, and then she gets mute. Look around, everybody on mute.
See, they brought that special whistle jump. They brought it from the NBA. That's where they brought it from.
Okay, that's fair. I'll take that.
I
And
don't
I
care how many free throws you have if you're getting fouled. Now, if you want to tell me these are not fouls, then we can have that conversation. But
exactly.
just looking at how many times someone goes to the free throw line, and also, by the way, that's let me whisper it for those who don't understand. It's called strategy. If I can get to the free throw line, it's part of my strategy. Furthermore, the more threes I shoot, the less I'm probably making it to the free throw line. It is not that hard. Again, it goes back to people don't know what they're watching.
They don't think that like foul baiting is an actual skill. They don't think it's a skill.
But I don't want James Harden foul baiting. There are levels to it, right?
Sure.
Like I don't want that.
I think like James Harden, it's past foul baiting. It's past foul baiting. There's a whole nother because some of them don't even really be fouls. But I do think this is people don't understand. Yeah, foul baiting is an actual skill. You want to bait them into a foul. That's what a pump fake is, or a rip through. That's a foul bait.
Or a Euro, like that slow Euro that Jackie has really actually perfected.
Oh, beautifully. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Either a foul or I'm changing my pace so quickly that you're flying by me, or your only option is to foul me as you're flying by me, right? Like that's actually where Euro is the whole premise offensively is to score. To score, let's take it another step back, is to get your defender in a position where they can't defend you. That's the whole point. Now, does that come as a foul, or does that come as a fake out? Does that have you off base that you can't contest me appropriate? But I don't know. I don't know why people sit here and consume things on such a surface level. I guess that requires intellect and comprehension. So that's where I'll short. But yeah, fouling. I want to get my defender up out of here. I don't want you. If you're a good defender, I'm trying to get you on that bench.
It's not my fault that you can't stop fouling. That's not my problem.
And ask the Fever. The Fever did it to Liz, and some of those. I mean, whatever. They were inconsistent, but nonetheless, Liz was putting herself in positions to get foul called, and it's just like, look, that makes sense. And guess what? Guess who knows that probably better than anybody else in the league? The Fever. So it is what it is. They were trying to come at you. Aaliyah Boston knows how you guard. So I'm trying to put you in situations where Liz has to guard Aaliyah Boston. So why is that smart? But then me getting into the free throw line is a problem.
And it's the fact that they act as though the tendencies aren't talked about. Tendencies are talked about when you go through scouting. Tendencies, yeah, they tend to foul on up fakes, or they tend to foul. They tend to get handsy. Those things are talked about in the scouting report. People.
And also, the more you're in foul trouble, there's this thing called the bonus.
Not even a bonus. See, I want to throw this too. That bonus, but what about just you're out of rhythm? People fall in love with that 3-point, right? They fall in love with that 3-point. Those threes are good, but I want the 3 and the N one, right? I want the 3. I want to go. I'm gonna earn my 3 points at the line, but my +1 was the foul I put on you, because that's gonna benefit me down the road.
Yeah, that's why you've always heard me argue these 3-pointers. The
3-pointer or the drive in and the kick out to the 3. You're right there at the basket. Shoot it.
But shoot it. That's why I don't lean. My strategy of basketball, I prefer teams who drive, because to your point that you're making, it's actually more of a amplifier for me.
I like that.
For me, right, based on exactly what you're saying, it's more of an amplifier for me to drive and pop and shoot, and you come and you rake me across the arm or whatever, or I pound the ball in the paint and you got to foul me because you have no other option. Camilla, you can't really do anything with me, so you got to foul me and hope I go to the free throw line. And that's where you're playing analytics and percentages, which I know are a tough concept for some people, but I'm playing the analytical game. That's where analytics to me, right? Along with 3-point shooting, whatever. But it's more of an amplifier for me to drive and you and one me, or you just foul me, right? Now you have a foul on you. And if this is college, you only get 5. And now you have one more step to not being eligible to play this game. You're disqualified once you reach your allotted amount of fouls. I go to the free throw line, which is a higher percentage shot, ideally. I'm making that. Now, when it comes to there's 2 minutes left, or we're in the second quarter, you got 3 fouls, you got to go sit on that bench, baby. And now you're out of the game. And in theory, there's a lesser defender now on the court with me, or a less of offensive player. Maybe they're a better defender, but they're less prolific on the offensive side. That's advantage me.
I definitely got you I definitely got you on plan B, buddy.
Yeah. I'm
took away
taking you
plan
out
A.
of what you want to do. And that's the whole chess piece of basketball, is you are trying to get people in positions that are not comfortable for them, that are not the ideal place they want to play, that is not their bread and butter. And you're trying to create advantages on both sides of the ball. Right. And so I think that's where people aren't taking that lens of how do I create advantages plus me. Right. And actually, I think getting an and one is the best. But if I really get your best player in a position where now the coach has to make different decisions, different lineup decisions, different rotation decisions, has to drop into a zone to try to not get your player in foul trouble. Now I create optionality for myself that puts me at the advantage, and you're at the disadvantage, and you're reacting to what I want to do. That's a win. But again, these are those hidden moments in a game, those hidden points that people don't think about, right? So that's where it gets frustrating. And that's why shooting too many threes annoys me. And also those long rebounds are long, and they basically turn into transition points for the other team if you don't get the rebound. That's why shot selection is actually a bigger deal than people realize.
Take a good shot. You got to take the best shot. They foul A so much that's not called, so they can stop. And I agree. Dawn does answer so that you have to use her words and not just make up something, because they'll do that as well. Drawing fouls is a part of the game, but the controversy about it, that it is subjective. Yeah, it explains, it exploits referees that see the game differently. But if you first of all, if you hire some refs for the entire season and then give them some training and then give them some professional development and then give them some standards and then hold them accountable and then have a 2-minute report, a last 2 minutes of the game report, all of these things can change, right? We can standardize some things. You got to build it in.
See,
that's what D-Wade did perfectly. Let's go ahead.
I'm with that, except the 2-minute report. The reason why I hate the 2-minute report is because it does absolutely nothing.
Well, when I say 2-minute report, I want something that's transparent that at least says, tell me where they messed up. Because y'all lead the game like the refs walk off, they put their towels over their shoulders like, and we did a good job. No, sometimes y'all didn't, and we need to hear that without people being afraid to be fined. Go ahead.
I'm with Brittany. What does that do for me? The game's over. You're not going to go back and say we messed up, so now we're going to give you 2 more points. So to me, I actually think it's false accountability.
Okay, so then tell me what the real accountability should look like, because that's what I want. I want the transparency and the accountability. What happened? You can't keep just putting checks in a folder or whatever.
I think what would be more impactful, but they're not going to do it because they're not going to do it, is actually releasing the grades that you gave to the refs, because every ref gets grades. I would prefer you release the grades, because at least to me, we can see over time what grade what ref is getting.
Okay, that's a new hashtag. Hashtag release the grades. Hashtag open the books. Hashtag release the grades. Hashtag open the books. Let's go. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But the reality is the game's already happened. They're not doing anything to change it. Like, great, you messed up, but my car's broke, or I lost the game.
I got it. I love that.
On my record. So I agree. Like, to me, it's false accountability. Great, you released the 2-minute report, but there's actually pivotal moments in a game that, again, back to this foul thing. You called XYZ player for their 3rd foul in the second quarter. We don't talk about that, but we're going to talk about the last 2 minutes. No, the game is.
I like that. What I just wanted the transparency and the acknowledgement that it wasn't a good game, because I get tired of seeing the refs walk off like they dap each other up, put them little rolled up towels around their neck, like they did a good job. No, you didn't. And it ain't even about no parlays. It ain't even nothing about that. They insert themselves into the game like they're the stars. Nobody came to see you, Otis. A good basketball game for me is if I don't notice you. If I know your name, if I know the number on the back of your jersey, then you're not a good ref to me. Am I missing something? Like I shouldn't see them.
No, I think it's what us fans want to see. I think instead of something like a 2-minute report, like commission, like grades, like tell me how they and like tell me how they did for the entirety of the game. Don't just tell me the last 2 minutes. Because at the end of the day, the game ain't won or lost in the last 2 minutes, majority of the time.
No, I get it. I agree with that. 2-minute report. I just know that the NBA does it. Transparency is a better thing. I want the transparency. It doesn't have to be the 2-minute report. I love what you guys said. Release the grades. # release the grades. I got a question here. Go back to the Gamecocks here real quick if y'all don't mind. Are we concerned about Agot not drawing fouls?
Meaning they won't call them or she won't draw them? Which one? Or we can talk both, because I think that's the question. I can talk.
I was gonna say I didn't watch her enough in Mississippi State to know how she drew fouls or not.
Mississippi
Camilla got foul calls, so I would expect her to get some. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think one, I like seeing her play in the paint, so that's step one. I think it depends who she's playing against. That will determine whether or not she gets certain foul calls. And that's also part of Dawn working the refs. And Dawn does it. She talks to them all the time. They have that whole thing. So I think as long as they coach her up in the capacity of she should focus on finishing, regardless, right? Like finishing through contact. How does she do that? That's what she needs to work on. And quite frankly, it's not just a college thing. I think she's going to encounter the same thing on the next level. And I mean, even if we look at Camilla, that's on my, focus area for her is, girl, they clearly not. I think you get a trash whistle sometimes, but they're not going to call it. So you need to figure out how you can finish through contact more consistently. And that should be some of your focus areas. So maybe that also means you need to train a little bit differently certain body parts so that you do have that. So I just think the more physical you are and potential, let me not say that. Okay. I think the more physical you are, and bias will seep into this. I think certain things are not going to be called based on the way you play. The less finessey you are of a player, the less they're going to call that down in the paint. And especially when you're going against people with a similar physique as you, they're less likely to call it. So I just think that's the reality in which we operate in.
Brittany, yeah, anything you wanted to add? Bree Wayne say she had one free throw. I don't know the math, not mathing. I don't think that they really challenged her a lot. So I want to see her like in the paint against a big, and then let's see what the free throws, what the free throws look like.
Yeah, I was like, Don will work the refs, so that won't really be an issue. Just like commission, being able to finish through contact, because you do know some of those fouls they will not call. Would we love for them to call all of them? Absolutely. But will they? Probably not.
Ladies, we could go on and talk forever. We could talk till dinner. We were supposed to also talk NBA coaches. Coaching just in general. Did you want to get into that conversation? You want to save the conversation? Totally up to you.
Let's save that because eventually the Liberty will announce their head coach, and then we could talk about that too.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that hire.
Okay, that's fair. So we will circle back to that conversation. But another great brunch conversation, ladies. Appreciate you pulling up. Brittany, Kamish, High Life, the 190 y'all in the chat. Hit the like and the share. They both right there if you ain't hit them already. If this is your first time here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Do not miss the next drop. I don't know, Baseline Brunch may be back next Saturday. We're going to see. The ladies will let me know, and I'll let you know as soon as I know. Hey, listen, appreciate all of y'all. Appreciate the support. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. We are out. I'm in the mansion. Let's go.